Welcome to Rope Break, a wrestling podcast. I'm Alex.
I'm Peter Wesley.
And that's Peter Wesley. And today we're going to cover, has TKO been good for professional wrestling? I don't know about you guys, but let's talk about it.
Before we hop into the huge topic of TKO, I just wanted to give a weird question and shout out to Kevin Nash who doesn't watch our podcast, but just hoping that this gets to him. He was talking about Jay Cargill, who we talked about a couple weeks ago,
Hmm.
and he's saying he likes her improvements, which I said she was improving. He said she wasn't. But he said he feels like she shouldn't be a babyface. She should be a heel, which everyone's entitled to their opinions. My question is, why is he telling us? He has a friend that writes the stuff. Why don't he tell him?
Agree with him on that, but I also feel like he also, when Hogan's funeral, he said that was the last time he saw Paul. He didn't get to see him at SummerSlam. So
Man,
he said he had to
I
see him
do.
at the funeral, and he was at both. I mean,
Paul
obviously.
is Paul that busy?
He said Paul's that busy. Paul's like Shaheed,
Okay?
too busy.
Too busy.
Too busy. He said Paul's that busy. They just send text messages. I mean, I don't think he can text and book at the same. Stop booking her as a babyface. But I do agree that she's a heel. But as I stated last week, I feel like her being a heel is she's not good enough to carry a match. So it would have to be big boot pose, chokeslam pose, jaded, kick out, look shocked. It wouldn't. She couldn't carry the match. That's all I
Who
feel.
is moving, and I don't want to talk about it too much because the TKO thing is a big deal. But I think it does maybe in a future episode it should be a nice subject, especially seeing where she goes. Who's listening to Kevin Nash advice is
Raquel.
Raquel. Yeah,
I
she
love what
is.
Raquel's doing.
Yeah,
Raquel is the second coming, the female second coming of Kevin Nash, and she definitely has a lot of Shawn Michaels. Whether it's Roxy, whether it's Liv, whether it was Aaliyah before her,
yeah.
but
She is ready to be Diesel for whoever. She's
Dakota Kai, she was everybody's Diesel. It didn't matter. She was everybody's Diesel. But let's get to it, man. TKO. We're right on the horizon. I don't know about you, but today when I turned on my Roku, the first thing that came up was ESPN. Like the Roku has changed its entire
man.
theme into the new ESPN streaming service, and I'm like, okay, you're just shoving it down my throat. I turn on my YouTube just to gloss through some wrestling stuff while I'm working. The next thing I know, bam, the ESPN new streaming service. So with this new streaming service everywhere, and with rumors that they're trying to make TNT and TBS give up on AEW, has TKO truly been good for the WW for wrestling in general, not just the WWE, but for wrestling?
No, and I mean I never thought it was. I think I was just so, and I feel bad to say this. I was just so happy to get somebody to push Vince McMahon out. It was kind of
Wow,
hey, it's just kind of like what's that thing? The enemy of my enemy is my
is my
friend type
friend.
deal. Yeah. It's just like I've never had faith with how they handle UFC and how people in UFC get treated. So I didn't have the best expectations for WWE. But it was just like they're willing to let Triple H stay running it. I'm cool. I'm with it. Um, but what it has turned into, um, I, I feel like we're getting into, and which definitely we're about to start talking about. I feel like we're getting in a situation where it's about to price out its core demographic, and that's not right. It's not acceptable, and it could also lead to, well, I mean, where it could drive up profits, record sales and things, but eventually there's going to be a crash after that.
Technically, I can totally agree with you, bro. The WWE used to be a family thing.
Yeah,
As I told you earlier, a family of four. Family of four could go to WWE, spend $200. Now, $200 is one person going to wrestling by
and it's not
themselves.
even a good
It's
seat.
not even a good seat. It's a nosebleed. Um, like I'm just gonna So 2 tickets. I got 2 tickets to the Rumble, as you know, and I wasn't in the best section. I was like at the end of like balcony seating, right? I was like the first seat in the balcony, right? That was pretty good considering I wasn't at the back of the thing, but first seat in the balcony, and I would say, over that was still 2 tickets, $400 after the fees and stuff, so $400. Um,
I was lower level, but my it was taxing, and I'll say this, um, it was the level below me where like the floor was.
hmm
Well, I think there was like another level, but then below that was next to the floor. Um, the floor was so weird to where there was people like in the like there was several rows in the floor to where there's sections in the back where you had a horrible view. Um, and it just I don't and I know them tickets even just because it was on the floor, they thousand just
1,000, just 500 at least for one ticket.
at the least, yeah, at the least.
And just as we are early, we both get the email to be the early ticket thing, and we saw WrestlePalooza. Look at that, WrestlePalooza, which will be the induction to the ESPN era of WWE, is the nosebleed tickets are over $100, and this is even a major pay per view. This isn't even in the biggest arena in the city of Indianapolis.
I know SummerSlam a couple years ago they did Detroit, and there was crazy ticket prices. And I was just like, because me and my brother was gonna go up there, and I was like, you know what, I'm not, I'm skipping it. And the weekend, like 2 days before the show, I got an email. It's like new tickets for SummerSlam, starting at $20.
hmm
And so, and it's just like I know it's I guess this isn't all on WWE TKO because Ticketmaster, plays a role in some of these things like where they dynamic pricing.
Yeah,
So where this is going to fluctuate.
that's
Like
true.
even you here in Louisville, you know, pre-sale tickets come, and then sometimes I'll look like, I'll wait. Sometimes I'll do that. And I remember there was tickets that was like on the floor, like $70. And it
Yep.
just like it was like I ain't in a rush to get this one. It ain't it ain't the coolest seat, but it is on the floor. And then like the official tickets go on sale. Same seat was like 120, two
Yep.
hundred. And it was just like, why are we playing this game? Why are
Exactly.
we
Exactly. I do have to say, if you do we do use our pre-sale order, because I have done the pre-sale tickets before, it is a little cheaper, but
Yeah.
it
And I
doesn't.
didn't know. I thought it would just stay the same price.
And you would think that, but I guess that is a good thing to be on the email list and to be a valued customer of the WWE in that regard, to have the little code so you can just put it in and you can buy the tickets before. But even now, buying the tickets before is ridiculous price. It's I know that inflation is real. I know that going to the grocery store and buying a pack of ramen noodles used to be 30 cents when I was a child, and now they're like, well, it used to be 15 cents. Now they're like 50 cents, and it doesn't make sense. I get that, but you don't have to make a ticket that much money. And then when I think about it, I feel like they're just trying to balance out the loss they're taking from UFC. I was thinking, I was like, wow, what's the highest gross in UFC? And the highest gross in UFC was last year sometime, and it didn't gross anywhere near the highest gross of UFC. I'm going to take that back. Was UFC 306, and it was last year, and it grossed $22 million. It's a lot of money, right? We would
Yeah.
think that. This year's WrestleMania grossed over $200 million.
I don't know the numbers, but apparently there was a the UFC fight here in Louisville. I guess it was like from what I understand, it was like one of the biggest
hmm
non like
It was one of their
I guess
biggest non pay per views
yeah,
that they ever
yeah.
did. The biggest, one of the biggest one. It was at the time the biggest one they did that was on ESPN Fight.
And I thought I was like, okay, that means they're coming back to Louisville a lot. They haven't had another one since. I
Haven't
don't know.
had another one since. But
I don't know what it's about.
I mean, I don't think they. I think they're trying to do the WWE type schedule where they're hidden everywhere, where they're not doing the same core cities where the fight is big. Obviously Las Vegas is huge, which has where they got their $200 million at was Las Vegas. Well, they're and well, WWE got their $200 million at Las Vegas, and they got their $2 million at Las Vegas, $22 million at Las Vegas. Excuse me.
You seen where they're about to, like, I think sometime next year gonna have a fight, the White House.
Yes, I heard that. I heard that,
I,
and
I'm scared that a ring is going off in Triple H's ear.
well, he's gonna have a ring there. There will be a match. Linda's already there asking, "Hey, can we get a match there? Can we get the E there?" Yeah, I mean,
Oh God.
that's not even Triple H. That's Nick Khan, and that's another thing. I think Nick Khan and Triple H want to make a statement. Vince made a statement in the '80s, and he killed the territories, killed all of them with the WWF when he bought the WWF from Vince McMahon Sr. Right? I think now their thing is they're going to kill the indies and make AEW into the only indie show left. Because if their goal is to take AEW's television away from them and then steal all the indie stars, because I'm just telling you right now, I feel like the WWE ID program is a plant to kill the indies. Once they kill the indies, make AEW not have TV, even though I think AEW's TV is going to be on Fox, because it's been proven that the AEW fan makes more than the WWE fan. Uh,
Did you see? I was it was on Twitter, and I didn't check or care to check to verify it, but they was saying I think it was like 2 weeks ago. It was the Raw viewership um was like apparently almost even with the Dynamite's
Night
viewership.
viewership.
That yeah. So this whole trying to kill him thing and trying to ruin their deal makes me think that they do feel some sort of threat of competition.
I mean, obviously, I think Vince didn't after that first big initial. I'm going to buy everybody, give them huge extensions and large amounts of
Yeah,
money,
yeah, yeah.
and then he was like, "Oh, I'm secure. They can go over to AEW if they want."
And and then fired everybody. It was like the wrestling version of what's that day on for Black Friday.
Hmm.
It
Everybody,
was
they were
like,
coming off the shelves, brother. I'm telling you. He did a purge of his company. He said, "Screw this. They can go.
oh my
I don't
God.
want them. I don't want them. I don't want them." And some of the people have prospered. Look at Swerve, which I hope he heals from his torn meniscus soon. This is probably him and Osprey probably going to be gone after Forbidden Door. But I truly feel like uh, Nick Khan, and not so much Triple H, maybe a little bit Triple H, he might be in there. But Nick Khan wants to kill the Indies. He wants to kill. He wants to be the only Khan with a television product, and take it away from Tony.
You
I
got you got multiple wrestling companies. I just think, I mean, compete with AEW, but the whole like trying to put them out of business thing, um, I don't think I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good for wrestling. They are now where they're like, we are wrestling, and
this,
it's you know,
and I feel like they to the casual fan, WWE, WWF, WWF has always been wrestling. You don't have to kill AEW or kill the indies for the casual fan. The hardcore fan, like me and you, if there's a show here, I if GCW comes back, I'm gonna go. Right? Just
yeah,
because I like wrestling. You know, Derby time when OVW has a free show, I'm gonna go. Right? And I watch OVW. I watch TNA, but I think they want the only alternative to WWE is going to be TNA, and they control TNA pretty much. So there's no alternative to the WWE.
if Nike was
Evolve.
the if Nike was the only sneaker in town, it'd be a horrible time, man. It'd be horrible.
Think, and I totally agree with you. If we look at what happened after they purchased WCW, and that whole stint of wrestling. Not the entirety, but after they got comfortable with themselves. After WrestleMania 18, we had 19, 20, the John Cena era, because they didn't have competition. They got lazy, they got comfortable, and they stopped trying.
But I think that is the show that Vince always wants. It's that boring, predictable thing with one babyface just dominating all the time, making the sales, and being that face of it. I think that's the end goal for. I like, yeah. I think Jim Cornette once said, he's like, WWE comes to town, it's like the Harlem Globetrotters. Like it is kind of like the circus. Like that, I think that's what he wants. Like all the like the edgy moments or these deep, compelling storylines. That's when it's in competition mode. Um, what he just wants is what you see. Uh, Cena beating the monster of the week.
The entire Nexus, a whole group of people. you know, Cena became Hogan, and so the parallels were were
I,
were,
I was
were
about to say
still
that
the
was that
same.
was that was actually Cena's decision.
You know, well, hey, Hogan did it first in WCW because he defeated the whole entire Dungeon of Doom. He had Randy there, but I mean, Randy didn't do too much. Randy didn't do too much at all. I mean, I feel like, yeah, that works, but that gets boring, and then your ratings are like 9.6. You know, 1.9, not even 9.6, 0.9. That's a horrible rating, man. Who wants that?
And when it's time to do a little shake up, you shake it up a little bit, but then the end goal is to get right back to the usual
The
schedule.
babyface rules. Well,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't think that's Triple H's
No, no,
mindset.
I don't, no, no, that's not his.
Just for the simple fact that he wasn't a babyface when he was on.
Yeah, no, that's not his. But that definitely is Vince's model. But people's now complaining about how Triple H does things. I've seen a post today or yes, one recently, where they was like they were tired of factions. And it's just like, man, I feel like I've been waiting like 10, maybe 15 years for factions to come back. So it was
Okay, so the only thing I don't like about Triple H's booking is multi-man matches.
Vince was good for that too.
I hated that too. I feel like there shouldn't every card, every pay-per-view isn't a major fatal four-way triple threat
Okay. Yeah,
match.
yeah.
It's stuff like that that makes me
Yeah, yeah,
upset.
yeah.
Like I'm like, why is the main event for Clash in Paris a fatal four-way match?
Is it?
I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm pretty sure Cody's main event is with Drew, but right now the Raw main event is that fatal four-way match.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I quickly forgot about that. CM Punk, LA Knight, Jay and Seth.
Seth. See, and you
Yeah.
and you like multiple men in the match, and you like, oh, I forgot.
Here's my thing. So I guess I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to like triple threat or fatal four ways. I don't hate them though. I don't hate them. I think what I like about Triple H is where he will sometimes make a main event like you get your triple threat or fatal four way or like a tag team match, where these are
Player.
things like Vince wouldn't do. Like like I feel like there's been some chances with like the Usos and Sammy and Kevin like as a WrestleMania main event. Like these are things that Vince would never have taken a chance on. And I like that aspect of things. Like, oh, this is something that we usually don't get. Um, so I'm as far as that goes, I'm cool with. But yes, I get what you're saying. Like far as a championship, multi-man, I don't hate it, but I also when knowing like this was made just so the champ doesn't get pinned, that's when I'm like, but that's a cheap gimmick for that match
Yeah.
anyway.
I mean, but I feel like Seth's not gonna get pinned anyway. Seth's gonna win the match. So it's just so that LA Knight can take the fall, so he can get stomped, and he can Jay, because that's the only two. I don't see CM Punk getting the pin.
He's
That's
not.
only He's not getting pinned because that's the long feud that we have for the rest of the time. But speaking of Raw and speaking of Jey Uso, I would like to say congratulations to Jimmy Uso and Trinity Naomi Fatu. This is the end of her career in my view.
You think so? She
I
said
don't
she's gonna be back in 9 months.
nah. Her due to her medical history and everything else, she's not coming
I
back.
don't. I say. I don't know.
You know,
I know she had that one injury, but she
she
bounced right back like weeks later.
she got she. I don't mean those. I mean just her lower half, her vaginal issues.
So I hear. I guess, and like I said, I don't know too much for medical history. I guess what here's our thought. I know when it comes to athletes, women athletes, pregnancy usually is the is a career ender for them. We seeing that, Becky Lynch ain't been the same. She came back smaller, which usually that's some. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. That's usually just women usually come back bigger after.
Yeah.
But and then outside of wrestling, I don't know if you watch tennis. What's her name? Naomi.
Hmm.
She hasn't been the same. But I guess the difference between them and Naomi, she's always been in great shape. So I just
That's
felt
true.
like, oh, she can easily just bounce back. Not easily, but I feel like this
She'll
could be
get there.
easy. Yeah, I think this would be easier for her than others. Um, but we'll see.
I mean, I don't think so. I think, but I can see why you would say that, but I don't think so. Just because giving birth is a traumatic experience.
Oh, definitely,
You're a
yeah.
dad. You've seen it. You know you can. You're a married father. You understand. I was there at one point in my life many moons ago, brother, and wasn't the same. I feel like with her having her issues, the one ovary, and
Oh, I see. I didn't know that.
yeah,
Yeah, I know you hinted to that. I didn't know.
the one ovary, and that she had like cyst down there
Is this
as
something they
well.
talk about in Total Divas or something?
She talked about it with Stephanie.
Oh, I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
We
So
talked all before the show started. I'm a clip watcher.
yeah. I know, man. It's okay. It's okay, bro.
Uh,
And she showed the clip on Raw. Hey, we're having a baby. Is another.
Also, it's well, there's no way to not be mean about this. I do not like Stephanie McMahon interviews. I don't like Stephanie McMahon places. I'm not interested in her podcast.
Damn.
He, I don't have beef with her in particular. I just feel like lately, I guess 40-year-old Stephanie, she comes across as like the random white lady that just the liberal white lady that just kind of like awkwardly is like super interested in you. No, you know,
I know what you're talking about. It's just
yeah,
that's the
like
meme of Stephanie, but that's the meme of Stephanie.
shit. There is a meme. I think the meme where she's standing there with the weird pose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that is like the vibe I have now getting of her. Like the meme is like when life imitates art, because like when she was on there with the bloodline, and she's like, "Oh, so what's your name?" And he's like, "Oh, it's I think it was Solo's middle name was
It's
Yokozuna."
Yokozuna. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that until just now. It's like, and she's acting like this giddy kid. It's just like, all right, you just learned this. Why are you acting like this? And and she was just that's how she was talking to all of them.
Yeah, like she didn't know these people. Like they've never worked together at all, at all. I
It's
mean,
just,
I knew it was a character, but I'm like, Jesus, you know these men, you know them. Paul talks about them. He goes home, doesn't he? I mean, you worked there. You worked there. Like, not only were you talent, you were front office. Like, what's
I
going?
do think when, and I think especially early years, I think the I guess unspoken rule was stay away from bosses. Dog.
Triple H broke all that, so therefore it's over.
And then I think that later turned into stay away from Triple H and his wife.
And I don't think she followed that rule because he's still a McMahon's husband. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, yeah.
Until Vince left, now I don't think she matters as much. But up
No,
until Vince was gone, oh, you're the son-in-law to Stephanie McMahon. You know, the woman that was interim CEO, interim president of WWE.
for like a few weeks.
few weeks until Vince came back. And then Nick Khan still got the job, but you know, I mean, I'm not mad at him. Nick Khan, who might be a cancer to professional wrestling.
He doesn't care about professional wrestling. He's a businessman.
I know he's a cancer to professional wrestling. But I mean, many people said the same thing about Vince. Vince didn't care about professional wrestling. He was a businessman,
He didn't.
and that's true. He cared about the WWF. He cared
And
about.
yeah, and that might be the only difference. I think where Nick is like he looks at it as a company where he is finding a way to draw profits. Vince still looks at it like it's his baby.
Hmm.
Uh so that might be, the only difference. But at the end of the day, neither one of them really care about professional wrestling.
No, and I also I don't I think Vince didn't mind the indie circuit because he needed to pull people. You know what I'm saying? Like he needed to pull people. He didn't mind. No, I'll pull somebody from the indies. I have somebody watch it. I'm not watching that shit, but I have somebody else watch it. Triple
But
H.
Nick is brainwashed by the ideas that people like Vince say was like, oh, we don't need indie wrestlers. We can just grab and create our own talent.
We can just get
And you
the athletes.
can,
Yeah,
to a degree, you can, but everybody ain't Bianca Belair.
that's true.
And it's just not going to be like that.
I mean, living proof. Let's talk about it. Jade Cargill. We talked about it last time. She's not Bianca Belair. She has essence. I think she has all the talent in the world when it comes to just presence when she
I
walk
think
into
she's
a
still going to
room.
be successful. She just isn't what the if anybody has this high expectation, like, oh, she should be like this. She's not. But can she still be great? Like, yeah,
Oh,
you
I don't.
know,
I believe she's going to be something. They pay too much money for
yeah,
her to be nothing.
definitely.
But
And she has gotten better.
she's gotten better. But
I've seen some nerd on TikTok say my definition of improvement wasn't good. Improvement. It is improvement, man. She has gotten better.
I
I've
was
seen her in AEW. I see her now. Come on, man.
I
It's
was waiting for you to put that out there. I was waiting for your response because I have a few I need to respond to personally myself, not on the podcast account, but on my personal account. I will respond. I will respond to you. I have things to say about what they just said to me, especially about when somebody asked me. They said, "Don't you think the NWO would have been just as popular if Randy Savage would have been the third man?" Hell no. Savage being a heel doesn't matter. We've all seen Savage as a heel. The mega powers. It only worked because Hogan was the person he turned heel on. Jesus. Hogan at that point, to me, and this is just about Wow Hogan tangent of the week, was the epicenter of professional wrestling. He was the epicenter of professional wrestling up until Stone Cold Steve Austin in The Rock.
you've been in I can only believe a super high defensive mode about Hogan for this past
Month since he's been dead.
yeah.
Uh,
Every
I
time
don't.
you make a post about him, there is a gang of
Somebody,
people.
especially considering my color, I'm black. The DM of that you're a token and N-word. You know what I'm saying has been out there many times, and that you you don't like your people. I'm like, what? I mean, I don't even know how you can say I don't like my people. I mean, Jesus Christ, like what do you mean? The DM of you must have dated a white woman. Your children must be mixed. Like, no, they're not. But okay,
To be fair, there is a abundance of like black conservatives who've taken the whatever initiative to defend Hogan, and I guess they may have mixed you into that.
and that's not what I did. I didn't.
And a lot
s-
of people weren't even wrestling fans; they were just
Yeah,
defending him because they knew he was a
he was a
Trump
MAGA
supporter.
reporter. He was a MAGA supporter. He
So they had
voted
to
for
come in.
Trump and he ripped his shirt off. You know what I'm saying? I'm
So
like,
they
no.
had to go out there and defend him. They had
And I'm like, that's not even why I'm here. I'm like, I'm not here for that. If you see I'm here for that little toy right there and the other Hogan behind that, like I'm here because I'm in the NWO tape back there. I'm here because I like wrestling. I like as Hulk Hogan, but that's my wild Hogan tangent for the week. Which I will actually before I go to sleep, I will respond to all those damn TikToks, you bastards. Uh, you know, I got something to say, brother. But no, I do feel back to the order at hand. I do feel that TKO, Nick Khan, and Ariel Hawani, even The Rock. I don't think, I think he loves wrestling, but I don't think he cares enough about it to want to save wrestling as a whole.
No, I think Rock loves wrestling, but I think his position, like the reason what's motivating him to be in WWE ain't about that. It's just the same as him in Hollywood and the franchises he takes over.
Money,
Yeah, it's a money and an
money and
ego
power and
thing.
egos. Yeah.
But I know he loves wrestling, but he's not like, oh, I gotta save this. No. You see him, was he on TikTok in a New Japan shirt?
Yeah, in the New Japan shirt, and Noah's in place to kill New Japan. Like they're, I feel like that's the only reason they had Omos go to Noah. I feel like AAA is in place to kill CMLL because
Yeah.
CMLL they're both affiliated with AEW, and now they're going to have TNA to kill AEW, and then if TNA doesn't do it, they're going to step in themselves and put every PLE that they can with this overpriced $30 service. Which I don't know who's going to be there on ESPN.
Which was another topic of the TKO saga. The new channel, man. ESPN, you know, you mentioned about how Roku is already
Pushing it down our throats.
pushing it. And I was when I woke up in the morning, I seen it, which was weird that they announced this early in the morning. Um, and at first I was like, cool, I got Disney Plus. I got the package with Hulu and
Yeah, me
ESPN.
too.
I'm fine. And it's like, oh, the all new
It's a
ESPN
new ESPN.
premium. I'm like, wait a minute, there's already ESPN. And there's the ESPN 2 and 3 and 4. Why do we need new ESPN app? There's already a ESPN app. What happens to ESPN Plus, by the way? Does it just disappear? What is
I don't know. I mean, I think everything. I think ESPN Plus is dead, and now with the bundle package. I think you might, and then now they're gonna. No, I think you'll still get to have the bundle package. I think it's a tier system, so you'll be on the low
Yeah,
tier if you have the regular bundle package, which I have as well. You know,
which I think that's slowly been changing it already
mm,
anyway, because I remember a few years ago I was able to watch like the NCAA games on the ESPN app.
yeah,
And then I think a year afterward, I tried to tune in and it was like, what's your cable provider? What? You didn't
yep.
ask me this last
You
year.
didn't ask me this last time. Yeah, so they've been doing this slowly but surely. Disney, TKO, Endeavor, they're all like they're not they're here to make our money. They're here to make their money and take ours, right? Um, Obviously, I think at the end of the day, I think eventually Endeavor will sell TKO and UFC and WWE to Disney.
It was funny because in the beginning, I remember that was one of the companies people were suggesting to buy WWE if it was to get sold. And if Disney put everything on the Disney app, I'm with it. Do it.
But will it be Disney? I think it'll be on the ESPN app. It won't be
Oh
on.
yeah,
It
yeah.
won't be on the Disney Plus app. No, Disney Plus is.
Mickey Mouse. He's playing 3D chess, and or is it 5D? I've never
It's,
learned how to play regular chess.
well, he's playing chess, checkers. He's playing everything. Okay,
He
I
is.
mean he's playing everything. VPNs are everyone. If you want to watch WWE, just watch it on Netflix. All of it, every living bit of it. Watch it on Netflix because get the sneaky link from your friends. I'm not promoting illegal activities, but get the sneaky links from your friends. I don't need a friend, brother, if you know what I mean, and that works for me. But the thing is they did double pay-per-views to expedite the process to get off of Peacock.
Yeah, and that's another thing. So they announced this thing, and then they say it starts January 2026.
Hmm.
in our group chat, I've been pissed about it. But then
Yes.
I was like, 2026, I got enough time to chill
Hmm.
and look at everything, all the streaming things I'm bidding, and see
Restructure
if
your
I
finances.
yeah. And then it's like, nah, we doing it next month.
Hmm.
What?
Well, they did that the same way they did WrestlePalooza. We didn't have as I mentioned earlier, I'm still reeling from the Rumble, brother. And granted, I did go to that SmackDown that they had in Lexington, and you went to the Raw that they had in
I
Louisville.
did, yeah, yeah.
But the thing is, I'm still reeling from the Rumble itself,
Oh
and
yeah.
and this is another, and this is Rumble prices in a smaller building, which, like I said, that same building had SmackDown for nowhere near as much as the prices that they're charging for these WrestlePalooza tickets, which has the rumored main event of Brock Lesnar versus John Cena.
I don't really care for that. I just wanted to be in the building. It's always cool being there with wrestling fans, especially when it's, a big show nearby your town.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. John Cena and Brock Lesnar is not, no disrespect. It just isn't. You've seen it once. You've seen it enough.
I mean, it's usually Suplex City.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I
Then
will say that one. If you was able to see that SummerSlam, that was a hell of a match. Because you just didn't expect it.
yeah, it was special.
Yeah, yeah, that was special. But anything else, I don't. I mean, I'm sure it'd be cool. But we also looking at a Cena past his prime. Well, I don't know what kind of ring shape Lesnar's gonna be in.
Then, I mean, you just
Yeah,
suplexing people and
yeah.
selling. It's what does it matter? Because he's just suplexing people and selling. He's not
Yeah,
over here getting ready to do nothing. A 5-star classic. This isn't Brock Lesnar 2002. This is Brock.
which there's a huge difference between the two. Huge, huge difference between the Brock Lesnar that was pulling out all the stops on a match, and between the Brock Lesnar with the ponytail doing suplexes,
Suplexes, and I'm pretty sure we're getting Brock doing suplexes.
lazy
Which,
suplexes, by the way.
yes, well, I mean, he doesn't have to put too much force. Cena's gonna jump. He's
No,
gonna,
but the German suplex is one of my like favorite wrestling moves, and especially when a guy's got or gal like Tony Storm got
yeah,
a great form. It just looks just it just looks really nice. But then you got some guys that's just grabbing a guy and just throwing him.
toss him, just dump him. Yeah, I mean, no, he's not pulling out a Medusa um, German suplex, the Alex Wright German suplex, a Chad Gable, Kurt Angle when he actually did a bridge, which was very random, very seldom. Chris Benoit, he's not doing none of those.
This is a Minnesota suplex.
This is
This is
Minnesota,
this is not German.
that's the
This is
city, somewhere in Minnesota. So you pick a city, that's where you're going. And he's tossing your ass because he's gonna just grab you, waist lock you, and dump you, and that's how that goes. And he's the guy.
and it does work for him. Don't get me wrong. It's just a match. That's all it is.
I'm not gonna lie. I got a Suplex City Louisville shirt. I have one, so I mean,
Oh, they had one for Louisville.
they had one for Louisville. It was red.
Nice.
The sign was red because obviously the U of L
Yeah, yeah,
color.
yeah.
It was red and white and Suplex City.
I'm still mad I didn't get the Louisville Nightmare shirt.
I'm pretty sure they'll have that every day, every year
Yeah, they'll
that
have
they
it
come
again.
here. Next year when they come again, if they come again this year, the way they're just pushing shows out just haphazardly.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. So we might see a wrestling event in November here in Louisville or something. Um, I don't know. I don't think so because if
Yeah, that Evansville one was super
random,
random. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's the reason I asked, was anybody going? Because I was like, that's a little bit cheaper than what this WrestlePalooza is. They're trying to, like I said, they're pricing us out. They're pricing us poor people out. Us redneck boys. Don't come for me, rednecks. I'm black.
We joke when we say that, but that is like the average wrestling fan. Like, you go there, and so if you price that out, like you price out the hardcore, fan, like what do okay, you can say wrestling's hot right now. And
It
I
is.
it is, but I still argue it. Because when they say like, oh, this is a, high wave, like, and they try to compare it to Attitude Era where like it is cool, but I don't like it's hot. Tickets are selling, but I don't think it's the same coolness that you think. And one of the ways that I measured that was when I watched the Netflix festival thing, the Tundam festival thing.
Yeah.
WWE was there. Crowd was. was like, who the fuck are y'all?
Why are you here? Where's my you? Where's my Squid Games
Yeah,
cast?
they were looking for all the like the big Squid Games things in the teen dramas.
Yeah, which is what Netflix has become, other than
Yeah,
wrestling.
they were I mean heavy, it was just like and CM Punk was still trying to like and a lot of them were trying to be in character still, and the crowd was not they wasn't going for it. They was like, dude, we want to see the new trailer for Stranger Things. Get the fuck off the stage. Uh and and I feel like if this was the Attitude Era, Stone Cold would have came, that crowd would have went crazy.
If Triple H, Austin, and Rock, Mick Foley, those names 20 years, over 20 years ago now, peak Attitude Era 99, 98. Anybody in wrestling, if you would have took Hogan, Hall, Nash, Goldberg, around about that time of the Attitude Era, they all would have gotten attention. And that's proven just because if you look at the mainstream attention that Logan Paul, Jelly Roll, and all of those guys got, Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, that they got for being out there was nowhere near the amount of attention that Rodman, Hogan and Rodman in general, and then Karl Malone and none of those people, you know. Um, that was a different type of attention. That was everywhere. You had to kind of low key want to look what happened with Jelly Roll.
I
And,
also will say, something I want to point out a difference in between, I guess, how wrestling is in different companies. Um, WWE does a lot of focus on, and they always, yeah, like I hear Bruce Pritchard because I used to listen to or something to wrestle, and
mhm.
he's always a big thing on like what's the story and like and he says the story, but it's always like this emotional angle to trigger on these heartstrings or whatnot when this is wrestling and you talk like with WWE the Jelly Roast story he's out and like he's got a he's fighting to prove that he belongs there or whatever I don't know but other on the other end WCW Paul Malone just came to kick Dennis Rodman's ass.
Yeah,
It's just like I wrestling can be so simple. It
that's
is
it.
I hear like Triple H and Stephanie McMahon they'll when I've seen them like do interviews with like a Larry King type person and they'll say wrestling's this ultimate battle of good versus evil. Sometimes, but really it's just kicking ass. Like it's just
Yeah.
people want to fight. Like, when I especially you get the cheap seats in Louisville and you sit next to the drunk guy. I promise you, he does not care about this emotional storyline you're trying to
No,
draw. He wants to see people fight, get hit with chairs, and bleed.
that's what
It, it,
wrestling.
it's it is
That's the
like
core
you
of
get
wrestling.
and the love angles that do work. They are magic, and you appreciate them for what they are. But like, don't depend on doing that every fucking year. Like you have like a Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth, but you can't that stuff happens organically. Like you cannot do this all the time and wrap this around a main event for the championship and I,
I
I
feel
don't.
like the love angles have only worked very few times, and of
Very few.
course Savage and Elizabeth, and but like I said, you need to sprinkle a little bit of Hogan in there. Uh, brother. But after he left, and it was just Savage and Elizabeth, it worked. Savage Elizabeth, Jake Roberts, and all that other stuff, and then Savage Elizabeth and Ric Flair. Um, near the end of their real marriage, Liv and Dom, Liv and Rhea, like that works. But I really can't think of like what Vicky Guerrero with everyone because she had a whole lot of love interest. And you just thought that she was a whore because you like, well, hey, what about Eddie? He's dead, but Jesus, it's Eddie. Um, but no, you
Eddie and
don't need to
China might
care.
have been cool.
Oh yeah, but I also remember Vicky was with one of your guys, Dolph. who also knocked off Sonny in real life. So there you go.
In real life, yeah.
She said he was great. He's like a jackrabbit. He's
You
more than
know, somebody
enough.
else said that. The comedian chick, I forgot her name. She did that movie with John Cena, where John Cena was kind of like a gym dude who was like,
Oh, the big girl,
see, it's kind of chubby.
the chubby girl. That was that John Cena was in her, right?
Yeah,
Accidentally.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Yeah,
forgot her name, but I know. Yeah, I know who she is.
I know why I can't think of her name. Amy Sure.
Yeah, Amy Short. Yeah.
Yeah, she said that he fucked like an athlete that was like in competition.
Yep. I mean, hey, so did Nikki. Nikki was like Jesus. You know, Dolph, no, Dolph, John Cena didn't have that stamina like no Nick Nemeth. You know, you know, Nick was like, I was a collegiate wrestler. I'm going to show you some moves.
He took that show off thing personally.
He did. He probably did his taunt during the sex where they're gasping for her. You know, during doing the
God.
do.
Oh my
You
God.
know, did the little hair flick at him. You know, I don't know. But that's another thing. That's another thing. Like guys, I feel like WWE is gonna make everybody poor that's a wrestler. If you're a wrestler and you're doing good, like Swerve is doing good and Osprey's doing good. I think the only person in that company that will be able to do good, whether AEW loses its television rights or whatever, is probably going to be Moxley and Jericho because Jericho's leaving. Number one, I mean, I guess, and Moxley can always go back home.
I don't
And
think Jericho's leaving. Well, he could. I don't. I think. I think Jericho's a smart man, and I think he is. I have ripped off as much money as I possibly can from Tony, and I think eventually he is going to see that I'm not adding any value here, and he knows that these people are booing me most of the time I come out here, and they do not like my segments. I possibly need to run over to the other company and do a nostalgia run.
it's not even a nostalgia run. We're having a lackluster nostalgia run, in my opinion, of Christian Cage and Adam Copeland right now. I don't want to see.
You're not excited to see him tag again?
No, I like Christian. Um,
I don't know. I do too, but it's got to end sometime. Maybe
I
this.
want it to end. I wanted it to end last year. I don't want it to end now. No, I think they should have had. I wouldn't have signed Adam for our Christian to a long-term wrestling contract. I would have
I
signed
think I
him.
would have. I actually would have, instead of them doing a nostalgia run as Edge and Christian. I think I would have. I mean, I would have had him like that, but I think I would have. I would have liked to have had Christian get through the Edge
To be
and
a
to
heel.
be heel. Yeah, that would have been. That would have been it.
That's not what Tony wants. Tony wants to be a little boy and scream for Edge and Christian, and he wants them to do 5-second poses.
And he needs to get that dumb. Um, what is that? What is that? The It's not a bat. The club with the
Spike.
spikes. Yeah, I don't like it.
It's just called Spike. It's
I
it
don't like
reminds
it.
me of Abyss's Janice from TN.
I think like and I'm one guy who doesn't always agree with Vince things, but I think Bruce was talking about Vince. Vince was like he didn't like if a wrestler said something like where he teased something you can't do, like if he's like yeah next week I'm gonna kill you, like we
Yeah,
can't go that far. You got this damn thing. You can't really hit nobody with it.
except Moxley.
So it's just like let's not even
One person is gonna take that bump.
like if you had it brought it out in one segment and teased it, yeah, but you bring it out all the time and it's like we know this can never be used. And
No
then
one's taking
you
that
gotta
bump.
you gotta swing it real slow. It's just like come on, let's not do this. Let's not.
I mean, I agree with you. I agree. Unless it can be gimmicked, you shouldn't use it. Like the barbed wire bats, you take the barbs off the wire and you just
Yeah,
hit them
yeah.
with
Yeah.
a wire bat. Unless you're Sabu, and then you're like, I'm okay. You know, and Terry Funk, we're okay. We don't care about the scars, right? But the average person isn't going to take that bump. You don't want your whole
As
body
they,
to.
as they shouldn't.
Yeah, I agree. You don't want your whole body to look like Devon's head. Who wants that? I mean, I wouldn't. I wouldn't, so I get that. I get that. I don't, but I just don't like. I feel like, and I'm going to say this. Next month, Team 3D is ending their whole run. The Dudley Boys, and they're going to have their final match with the Hardy Boys, a
I
tables
know
match.
we talked about it, and I know you. I don't think you're excited about it.
It's elderly people
It
wrestling.
is, and so I guess the way I see it, I'm not expecting nothing great in a as far as like in ring. Um, but I guess like as a kid, you got to see all this from older wrestlers. You got to see Terry Funk have his little last run. You got to see Ric Flair do it. You got to see there's a bunch of older Sergeant Slaughter get another run he didn't need.
Flair, Slaughter, Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you got to see all that stuff, and it's just like, okay, I want to see my guys get to do it.
I
One
get that.
one one last, I want to see it.
But Devon Dudley had a stroke.
I am fearing for Devon. Remember, I said it when Bubba, I text you. I said, "Does Devon even know about this match?"
Match he did, and I was like, "Yes, he knows because he agreed to it too." I feel Devon Dudley's 53 years old. He has two children that are wrestling. Your children are wrestling. Why are you doing this? This doesn't make sense. You had a stroke, sir. I lost 50 pounds. Okay, I'm happy for you. That's good for your health, your general health. Not to you to get in a ring and take a bump.
Bubba, no pun intended, bullied him into it.
Bully Ray. Bully
One last,
Ray again.
he came one last time. We'll take it easy on you. I'll take the bumps. Blah blah blah.
Bully is 54. He needs to stop.
But in his mind, he's 24, and if he wants to do it, let him go.
But nobody's young. Nobody's young. The Hardys aren't young. Matt's 50. Jeff's in his late 40s. We got Edge and Christian. They're both in their 50s.
But Christian's always wrestled in
Safer
a
way.
yeah
He,
yeah
he,
yeah.
he, so did Devon's normal matches are safe.
Yeah.
Matt now, after he fell from Sammy Guevara and busted his head, started wrestling safe.
I've also fell in one of those crazy matches. Or was that Matt? Who was that fell? Oh, I think I'm talking about Matt
Matt, when
when
he
he
fell
fell off
off
the
that,
tip.
when he fell off the forklift, and when he fell off that gurney, that thing, whatever it was,
But
when he fell,
didn't Jeff like fall off a table or something
yes,
on concrete or something like that?
yeah, and
And
they're all doing. I feel like they too old to do this. Christian is the only one that's old enough to wrestle his style because Christian's style isn't reckless.
yeah.
Edge jumped off the thing on to Malachi, Alistair Black, and broke his ankle because he didn't want to take the full barbed wire bump when he should have just took the full barbed wire bump off the
So
cage.
when I listened to him talk about it, he was saying he wasn't exactly sure what he was gonna do,
And
and
not
that's
do it
not a
at
good.
all.
Yeah, and so and I don't remember him being a guy that jumped off stuff much.
He wasn't. I mean, he wasn't that guy. Rikishi jumped off stuff more than him.
Right. And so now I'm thinking like what would Edge have done? Would he because I'm thinking
And
like he should have did like an elbow
an
drop maybe.
elbow, like a Randy Savage style elbow. The only
Because
person
that splash he did, he was trying to land on his feet. And it's
feet
just like
the
that's
same
not
way Bronson Reed did and broke both his ankles.
yeah.
I mean, he should have just barely flopped in the middle of the ring and broke his sternum.
Which is funny because with Bronson being in this stable
The
and
vision.
he's in the Vision and he's now feuding with Punk and all them, which I'm assuming they're all going to be a team at War Games. And with Bronson being in the stable now, it looks like he's headed back into War Games.
He better not jump off of nothing. Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I hope Bronson Reed defeats Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns is like my guy of modern wrestling right now. My guys are Roman Reigns and Pete Dunne. Yes, that doesn't make sense at all, those two names at all, but still, those are my guys. But one is cosplay a grande Americano number 3. But anyway,
I
But
really like Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. I for what they did in NXT, and I thought with Triple H in charge, he would have been pushing them, but it's almost like he
he
just
gave up on
forgot
him
about him.
too.
Yeah, man, I
He gave
don't.
up. He gave
And
up.
Tyler Bate, he came in there what 19, I think,
19. He was a kid when he became the
and you
NXT
had him waste his
European
youth. He's still
champion.
young. Don't get me
Yeah, he's
wrong,
still
but like
young.
but you wasted a lot of his youth doing nothing.
But I think now Triple H, oh, he's too small. But he's like super strong. What does it matter? He's too small. Like that's a spectacle right there. You see him do a spin on somebody like Omos, which he could. He could do an airplane spin to Omos. Think about that. That's a spectacle on in itself. But I guess Omos is gonna go rule Triple A for a little while s- as they try to
I
kill
will say
CMLL.
he looked good in the ring in Triple.
Oh, I mean, I feel like when you have Lucha, that style where he's just booting
Yeah,
people and
yeah.
hitting people, that's
But
easy
like
for him.
when I say he looked good, like like when he's in there, like he's kind of like big, clumsy, and like kind of if you can tell he's like overthinking what he's gonna do and all that stuff. The transitions were smooth, like it was. And granted, he's got a lot of help from who he's working with, but I can tell an improvement, and that was
I agree. I think going to Noah and wrestling with Japanese people,
yeah, yeah.
where hey, if you're over there, wrestling has to be your life. Yeah, you ain't a wrestler. You're not
And
gonna
it
make
seemed
it.
like and it seemed like he was ready to go all in being over there.
And
It seemed
I
like
think
he
he
was
was.
ready to be there for a minute, like, and then they pulled the plug on
And
it
then they
quickly.
pulled him and was like, oh, we're just gonna make sure we got some noise. People
And it
know that
sucked because they
WWE.
loved him over there.
But they seem to love him in AAA as much
They
as
did. Well, until he threw Micro Man.
yeah, but that was it. I mean, that was the spectacle. The spectacle was this man that barely goes up to your ankles is right here with you, and you guys are doing things together, But their photo op was one of the biggest photo ops liking wise on Twitter and Instagram when they
He
stood
was talking
next to
about
each other.
killing kayfabe. He kicked him, threw him, and then after the match, they hanging out and taking
They're
pictures.
hanging out. I mean, but I guess them killing kayfabe, but then Seth Rollins lying to his child, even Daddy's hurt. you know, uh, I guess that's how you maintain kayfabe. Speaking of kayfabe, since we're here, Karrion Cross, real or fake? I think it's real.
I think it's real. I didn't think it was real, but I mean, now time is gone, and he's still gone and doing interviews.
Still talking.
it, I so it's one of those things where I mean, I do feel bad he's not there, but at the same time, they did offer him a deal. It wasn't like we don't want you, we're gonna fire you. They did offer him a deal. Now, if everything is true the way he is saying it, it's shady. They give him a deal and say you got, pretty much a day to think about it, and
If you
you
don't,
know,
goodbye.
yeah, you don't goodbye, and then you're like, hey, what about my wife? Oh yeah, after we get you, we'll handle
We'll
that.
we'll, we'll
There's
get her together.
no guarantee that she's getting a new one. Like
Nothing
it's
else. Nothing
and then you
else.
sign it, and then like, oh yeah, we ain't got nothing for it. Wait a minute, you
Man.
told me, yeah, that's shady. That's
But I feel like he's not to them. He's not Sammy, who he just worked with, and by Sammy, I mean I think Sammy's like a low tier priority. And as sad as that feels, I feel like there's high tier priorities. Like Kevin Owens is a higher tier priority than Sammy. Cody Rhodes, a number one priority, obviously. Roman Reigns, a number one priority. Jey
but when
Uso.
which is crazy because when needed to be, Sammy can be a top babyface.
So I'm gonna to me he can, but I've talked to so many people, including Shahid as well, and another guy that I know, and they hate Sami Zayn as a person. They hate him.
Why does Shaw hate him?
He feels that he doesn't look like a professional wrestler, and the other guy said the same thing. They said the exact same thing. He looks homeless. He looks
He's
dirty. He don't look like a professional wrestler.
he's a brother in religion.
Yes, but I mean, when he first got there, he didn't look like that.
No, I honestly I didn't even know that until they went to I think Saudi Arabia and he cut a promo in Arabic. I was like, what?
Mm.
I know he did the thing about Syria, but I just thought it was just
Sammy liked
how
Syria. You didn't think
yeah,
Sammy was Syrian?
how liberals are.
Yeah,
They
they
pick up
just
the
like
cause
everything.
and yeah, yeah,
They pick up the picket signs for everybody. But
yeah.
no,
That's what I thought it was. I didn't,
no one thought Sammy was Syrian. I didn't think
yeah.
Sammy thought Sammy was Syrian. But hey, I thought he was an Irishman. He's the same color as same Seamus.
I mean, before all this, all I knew was he was a white guy pretending to be Mexican. So
Well, we all knew that. El generico.
yeah,
He,
but I didn't know there'd be more to his story.
he was a. Not only was he pretending, he was an Arabic man pretending to be a white man, pretending to be a
Pretend to be.
Mexican.
This is complicated. This is I didn't think all these. Yeah,
He was a gimmick within a gimmick within a gimmick, brother. Well, he was always in character.
because it was like, oh, this is actually a white guy from Canada, and
Hmm
just didn't learn. Wait a minute, he's also Syrian. Like it's a
It's
lot. I don't.
Canadian Syrian. It was definitely something to talk about. But I feel like when it comes to Cross, he wasn't somebody. To me, I feel like Cross was the next Triple H.
Mm.
Um, I felt like he was it. Like I feel like the next Roman Reigns is Braun Breaker. You know, um,
I think he can be, and that's one of those things. But it's like, and WWE always does the thing like if you can get over, if the crowd loves you, then you're over. But that's only to a certain extent. I feel like they still, at the end of the day, decide who the stars are. And you got a guy like Karrion Cross, people's cheering for him. They begging you to get him merch. They go buy the merch when you put it
after you
out.
put it out,
They chanting for him on the show when he ain't on the show. They go crazy when you put him on the B list show. You well not even B the C list show on main event.
not
Like
even that. When he's on the commercials in between Netflix,
oh yeah, and he's cutting a promo just in the
gets a huge pop.
so you still like I don't know like so I and then the stuff you give him because his character and gimmick really wasn't anything. Like he was this whole thing where he was just trying to turn guys to be heels, and it was just like, but it's like it's WrestleMania time. Like, don't you want your own match? Why do you care what AJ and Sami Zayn do? Like, what? Why do you
He
care?
he was the instigator. He didn't want maybe and that led into him not wanting to take bumps. The rumor of how he doesn't like taking bumps. That's the reason that he's just an instigator. Well, but in real life, and I heard many people say if you don't take a bump, you can't be a wrestler, so you get fired.
And somebody on Twitter said, easy YouTube search would prove this theory wrong. You can just go and watch his matches and see he takes bumps. Like so, I think somebody said it, and then somebody did take a clip of him like being hit and not like falling.
Not
And
falling.
it's like, yeah, it's like here's the proof right here, and it's just like, what?
Well, I do remember another shout out to Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette counted the bumps that he took in the first match he had with Sammy, and he was like one. He said, yeah, he took about seven. Some of them were iffy because some of them really wasn't bumps, but he made it look like he fell. He just kind of stumbled here and there.
And he might currently be, sore with something. He might be working through something. So, but the match in Saudi Arabia, he was taking bumps.
Yeah, he was. But then you can't say that he's sore with something. In fact, I think that's the match that he was counting was the
Oh, that's the one
Saudi
he was counting.
Arabia match. He said it was like seven. He took about
I
seven
think we
bumps.
were in the group
We
chat
were
because
we were too. We were too. I think everybody was counting his bumps. But he took a few bumps. I give it to him. But I think people feel like he could do more since he's breaking bats. 3 or 4 bats at a time with his legs in a chokehold. On Instagram, you breaking Louisville Sluggers, but you can't take a bump. Well, bro, what's wrong with you?
And that's the crazy thing. I think everything he does off camera is what makes me a fan of him. Because I didn't watch him much in TNA, so I didn't see much Killer Cross while in real time. Like I've seen some of his stuff later, but so I heard about him, but I wasn't that interested, and he didn't look that cool to me. Um, he just looked like some crazy borderline possible skinhead.
Serial killer Cross.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
whatever. And then it was him doing the Jesse Ventura impression. And I
Yeah.
was like, wait a minute, this guy's cool. And then I've been riding with him since. The social media promos are better than the stuff he does on TV. Uh, his interviews, he sounds smart, he sounds humble, he seems like a really cool guy and a funny guy. And it's just like, why can't we get more of this on TV? And then like he does show good promo skills, but it's just this weird. He's just backstage trying to get people to do evil stuff, and it's just. And then he cuts the promo on at WrestleMania, where he's like, I'm working hard, they're not giving me, credit, and not giving me no chance. And it's like, that's what I want to hear from him. And he comes back like what, 2 weeks later? They didn't even put him on Raw the next week.
No, no.
He
But the
comes back doing the same shit, and I was like, what?
but that was the rumor. The Triple H didn't know that that was a work. Triple H thought it
And
was a
that's
shoot.
the thing. He said that in the interview, but and it's the dirt sheet, so you can only take it with a grain of salt. But it was like they said, "Oh, WWE was impressed with his promo." So and they didn't say Triple H specifically. So I guess, but I'm thinking when they say that it's Triple H and
And
Co.
Triple H. When I hear Triple H, when I hear WWE creative, I only think of Triple H. I don't think
Yeah,
anyone
yeah,
else.
and we already hear that he likes Cross, and
Yeah.
people's already doing the comparisons about the hair. They thought like that was Triple H's idea for him to grow his hair like that. Um,
Grow his hair out, have his facial hair thicker. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
it was definitely giving Triple H and China vibes with him and
yeah, yeah.
him and Scarlett. Obviously, Scarlett isn't on gear and ready to go rip somebody's head off like China, like Joni was. But it was definitely given that. But Charlotte, I mean, Scarlett can go. Like, let's not. She's not given the
I've heard.
opportunity in the
I haven't.
WWE.
I haven't. Yeah, I haven't seen. I heard that she can, but I mean, she was a great valet. She did her role right. I don't see why they would not want to pay her to do that.
I mean, she was a great tarot reader for the WWE. But she added to the ambiance of the Killer Cross gimmick, the Carrion Cross character, I should say. I think, but I mean, I feel like once again this is another TKO deal where they don't want to give anybody a large contract anymore, like because they don't have to. They don't. They're not making money from wrestlers anymore. They're not even making money from. They can make money just have a match with six wrestlers every week. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, so they can get the yeets in. Seth Rollins, so people can go whoa, and then like Braun Breaker, so people can bark. And then we have so people can get their yeah in. We can have LA Knight. They don't need a deep roster. They know they don't. They don't. They don't. And
Another
I
thing they
think
don't do is they do not miss a chance to just do a bunch of collabs with clothing lines and any other company that's willing to do some sort of product with them. They are whoring out the WWE logo as much as possible.
Vince is rolling in his grave. I mean, and he's still alive, but when he gets there, it's rolling because I think
Well, if you've seen them lately, you'd think that.
he's the Crypt Keeper. He's a Crypt Keeper.
But yeah, so I say that not because I have like AED or anything, but I'm saying it because I'm thinking they like we don't need all these guys as a huge roster and all these people on the match. We got all this money coming in from all this other stuff. We can use a shorter number of people
Hmm.
and maximize on profits.
I mean, and I think lo and behold, AEW, and I shout out to Tony Khan for not getting a bloated roster for letting people go. But the more we see, we're going to see so many people just hit the indie circuit, and then they're going to not have a job, and they're going to be working at Taco Bell because the indie circuit's about to die. You know, because they're going to be killing the indie circuit really soon. But they obviously feel.
They could, but WWID could fail too.
I honestly think no, and this is why I think it's not going to fail. If you're an indie wrestler, and you know indie wrestlers, you were going to be an indie wrestler when you were young, brother.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, healthcare, medical. You know,
Does
uh,
WWID give that?
they're giving that. They're giving
Oh,
healthcare, they're giving medical, they're giving
I didn't
access
know
to
that.
the performance center. So you have all that. Everybody wants to be part of WWE ID, don't you? Wouldn't you?
Well,
If you
yeah,
over, you over here, you have your day job, you're working in McDonald's, brother, or you're flipping the burgers, and then at night you're making $75 to $150, depending if you're the champion, the guy with the strap. On the weekends or whatever, Wednesday, Saturday, whatever day you're wrestling, and then you get hurt. McDonald's ain't paying that medical bill, brother. you better,
but
you know.
WWE needs the Indies for that to work. I think it's gonna ruin the Indies for how it is. It's gonna change it for what we know it as, but they still need the Indies just to keep that feeding machine going. Uh,
But to me, I think there's indies that they'll let live, and by that I mean GCW. They'll let GCW live. Rethinking of what you said earlier before we press record, I think they might let OVW live just for the lineage of OVW and just so they can have the ability to buy it because they own a lot of they own all the old tapes anyway, like the tapes of Cena and Randy Orton and
yeah.
Batista and Shelton Benjamin and Brock. They own all those anyway, so it doesn't matter. I think they would just keep it just so they can say it's under their brand. That might be the TNA feeding system, if anything. If they don't want to use NXT directly, once they acquire fully TNA, which I think they will. Um, but I don't see the WWE allowing the indies to thrive the way they do. I don't think MLW, which I think that's number one on their MLW, AEW, New Japan are all number one on their hit list, and CMLL to kill. They want to kill them specifically
Now, CML and AAA have been around, for a minute.
forever.
I don't. How do you think? Well, I guess they have no choice in the saying the matter. I was gonna say, I mean, how do you think? I don't think Mexico's gonna be cool with that. But then I just thought about how WWE went over there to Europe and just destroyed the whole wrestling scene. So,
Exactly.
uh, yeah, yeah, so yeah, it easily can be done.
They raped the indie scene when they took Pete Dunne and Tyler
Yeah.
Bate and all the other wrestlers that they took, because they took the women too. When they took Tony Storm and Rhea Ripley, which were
Only to
all
later just destroy NXT UK and claim they were gonna make something else, but it still ain't happened yet.
they. I think once they got purchased once WWE got purchased, once Vince wanted, it was like, oh, I'm selling this. I think it was like, well, there's no reason to come out with another NXT UK or NXT Europe because NXT
That's what
Europe
it's
is what
called,
they were going to call it.
UMC.
Yeah.
Then
So there's no
they were talking about doing an NXT Japan or something. It
NXT
was
Japan. There's no reason for, and honestly think Noah was the ground they want to make that NXT Japan. I can see that. Like if they can, hey, get their claws into Noah and make people want to purchase, like put if they like, hey, we got you this much, we want to buy half, at least 75% of Noah, make it into NXT.
but while WWE is doing all this stuff and becoming this evil empire, I and I'm not saying I wanted to, but I do see a part in this where this falls apart.
Which is
Um
how.
well, just like when we were talking about how like they are, with the tickets, they slowly pricing out the demographic, and we talked about the ESPN, but beyond ESPN, with things that are going on, and I'm trying to tie this into the NXT and WWE spreading out everywhere and getting Noah and everywhere. There's these things where you got Raw on Netflix. Um, NXT is on CW. Um, SmackDown's on USA.
Hmm.
Um, Saturday Night's main event's gonna be on Peacock. You have all these things, and while you taking over and you're trying to be the only image of wrestling, I do think at some point while you're placing your products in these, these behind these big paywalls, is it going to be eventually a point where you only can be a hardcore fan to watch this,
Of course,
and
I believe
and
that.
then and WWE's big thing is getting the casuals. So eventually, if you're not some big hardcore fan, like you're gonna be the only person paying for all this stuff and watching all this stuff. And I think that it's gonna cut off a lot of casuals, which is gonna eventually cut off on some profit and cut. And we need to cut ties. We can't keep running AAA and this and that. Like, I'm not saying this is next week. This is 5, 10 years down the line.
Down the line. But
Um,
I feel the way they feel they're going to get more casuals is the football fans. That the football, the baseball, and the basketball fans that are going
just
to
like
buy
with,
this overpriced monthly
but
service.
they're not going to watch that.
I know that.
Um, I and I don't say this to be offensive. Wrestling is for nerds. It's for nerds and it's for rednecks. Um,
I agree.
and
I'm a nerd.
I'm a nerd, and so and I've noticed just like with AEW when they lined it up with NBA, and I think they did a big I think they did an AEW show right after an NBA game, and
Hmm.
that was the infamous day when NBA Twitter made fun of Fat Jericho.
Yeah.
Uh, it was a bunch of NBA fans saying, "When did Jericho start looking like this?"
Why does Jericho look like a soccer mom, a fat soccer mom?
It was people credit that to being what bullied him to getting back in shape.
And it did. Congratulations to Chris.
Yeah, yeah, but
I don't know what
but
shape he's in
that's
now.
I
Hopefully,
haven't seen him, but and he's 50. I'm not expecting him to stay.
so is Edge. So is
All
Christian.
right, true, true, true. Yeah, but
Shit, if
but
Triple H could still work out, do you think he
right,
looks
right.
like that now? I mean,
But
come
that's
on
his
now.
life. That's his life.
Yeah, the
He
gym
is a
was his life.
wrestler. Yeah, but like
Bodybuilding was first love.
yeah, yeah. But what I'm getting at is like UFC fans, we've already seen it. When TKO came, UFC fans didn't give a damn about WWE, and that partnership still don't. You
It doesn't
understand that?
matter.
Yeah,
You either like one or the other. Some people like both. I
yeah,
like both. But
yeah, yeah, yeah. There is some people that like both, but like when I'm talking to
the UFC
like I
fans don't watch wrestling.
yeah,
The
like I got
hardcore.
friends that love you. I mean, they just love MMA, and like when the subject of wrestling comes, like they talk about it like it's below them.
It's trash.
Now, you do have
They feel
your,
like that's trash.
yeah, and you do have your people that like both, but they're not a majority.
No, no. You either own there's very few wrestlers you respect. Most people they bring up they bring up CM Punk to make fun of. That's what happens when a wrestler steps into the ring of martial arts. And then there's an
And that's
exception called Brock
and
Lesnar.
I don't think CM Punk is and I'm a CM Punk fan, but he is not the true representation of a wrestler in the octagon. Um, and I hate it because I was always under the belief that CM Punk was a good fighter, just because you always hear about his
Muay Thai
jujitsu
training.
back, yeah, yeah, all
Mm.
that type of stuff. But long before he fought in UFC, he gave me an indicator that he was not going to be good in the UFC. He did an interview with Colt Cabana,
Hmm.
but before the big one.
I knew it was before because they ain't gonna have a conversation now.
Well, it was yeah, it was this was like Summer of Punk days. He's talking. Or maybe actually before Summer Punk days. It was just one of the times because he would just pop up on the show sometimes.
Yeah.
And he was talking and he was talking about he was doing some martial arts stuff. I think he did like a sparring match at a gym.
Hmm.
And he talked about how dude got him in some hold and he tapped he tapped the dude and then like dude was holding it in and then he let go and he's like, yeah, I just beat the champ. And it let me know I was like, oh, he's not this expert martial artist I thought he was. And I didn't like look down on him or nothing, but it just like it kind of like, oh, okay, because I had this idea that CM Punk was outside of wrestling, just
Yeah,
kicking people
was
and
that
talking.
well, he was that guy. Yeah, he's not. It's not a work, brother. It's a shoot. No, I mean I look at CM Punk and just he carries himself very confidently, but he doesn't carry himself like Brock Lesnar.
No, no, not at
And he
all.
doesn't carry himself like Kurt Angle.
And
He
then I
don't
also
carry.
later heard the story about him and Teddy Hart.
Or Teddy Hart, who could who could also probably beat his ass,
And
did beat
apparently
his
he
ass,
did. Yeah,
and
he
did
did.
beat his ass. You know,
Yeah.
and I mean, so no, I mean, is he probably can he do some things? But the thing is this: when you're in a jiu-jitsu fight with somebody and you're on the ground, rumbling around, choking them, that's a completely different thing. If you're doing a stand-up game and then they can choke you after they punch you in the
Yeah.
face a couple of times.
Now, I do
Um,
think if CM Punk got in training and learned stuff at a younger age, I
yes,
think he'd be better. I think coming in, late 30s, early 40s, come on. But I'm also not mad at him for getting the bag. And I should have also known he did the interview with what's his name that does the with one of the few people that love MMA and wrestling.
Ariel Harani.
Yeah, he did an interview with him. It was the last interview he did before he walked out, by the way. I
Hmm.
think it was like right. It was like an interview like a week or two before the Rumble, and he brought up about doing MMA, and he's like, "Yeah, he's like, I'm sure people would pay money to see me get beat up," and
And they did.
they
Because that was one of the
did.
highest grossing ones at the time. They did. Him and but I feel like, and this is it, and this is how when you compare UFC and WWE when it comes to people that want to spend money on the product, it doesn't compare. Because nerds will spend a lot of money on shit that they like.
Yeah,
You know, and, and nerds don't. Not too many nerds like fighting. They don't like violence.
and,
Not
and
real
you and then
violence.
you and then your nerds that are WWE fans that have been conditioned to like this is how wrestling should be.
Hmm.
They're all talking about the story and all this.
Ain't no story in fighting. I'm the champion. I'm
Yo,
number
it's
one
just
contender.
straight.
You know.
Yeah, he's a champ. I want to beat him up. Like, and that's,
Yeah.
and so there's even when, UFC fans look down, there's also WWE fans that's like looking,
It's
and
just a
I've also,
barbaric sport. Why are you just watching that? Ain't no
yeah,
story. They just fighting each other to fight each other. They just fight each other because they can't get a real job. You know, like that's
and
how I feel.
when it's like but which is weird because like this, I feel like also like during Attitude Era, I do think if UFC was hotter, there would have been kids that would have easily just transferred. And I get actually they were kids that easily
Hmm.
transferred to the UFC. It was like, oh yeah, this stuff is what I always was looking for. This is
Yeah,
so
this is just some fighting and blood and everything. It's crazy. This is and some people love that. Then there's some people that don't. And and
I
some people love
I
the art of wrestling. 'Cause there's art to wrestling.
yeah, yeah. But I so I like MMA, but I don't think I can ever like love it. Like there's certain things like certain holds. It's like, oh, this is nasty. Like where like in
Somebody's getting
wrestling.
hurt.
Yeah, like there's like certain arm bars and stuff where like you can either tap or get your arm broken. It's like I don't want to see that. Like I don't want to see that. Like
Now, see, I'm the opposite. Like I'm like, oh, okay, he's gonna break it, and I'm waiting for the snap.
and I
And
know I
that's
know
the thing.
plenty of people that like that. Oh yeah, my God.
I'm waiting for the snap. Now I'm gonna say I'm not gonna say I just enjoy that shit but I'm not. Cause I didn't enjoy Sid Vicious when he broke his leg. I was like, oh, that's nasty.
Oh man, yeah, it's nasty. That's nasty.
When Ray Phoenix broke his arm, I was like, oh, that's nasty. All those. When Dante Martin broke his leg the same way as Sid Vicious, I was like, oh, that's nasty too. Because
But but drunk people in a fight, man, they want to see that. Like,
if you ever been to a Hooters during a UFC fight, you understand. Or Dave and Buster's, whichever one.
I went to B Dubs and they were the same. It was the same.
Yep, same one, same type of deal, same type of mindset, same type of people. The bloodlust is is real.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't. I
There
feel.
there is
But
some MMA fights that's now been here. 4th Street Live.
yeah, yeah.
A buddy of mine was in one. I missed it, but I'm definitely gonna check out the next one. But yeah, they got the whole ring set up and everything. It was like
And
because I
they
work
got in
downtown LA.
the Viper Fighting League, which is also local. They got in free to that UFC fight.
Oh
They
wow.
they
Okay.
they They all got in. They had on their team jerseys. None of them. I think maybe one or two of them fought, but they got in for free because I was
Nice.
down there around there. I didn't go to the fight, but I was down there. I was coming home from Indiana, and I was like, oh, okay. When I got off the bridge, and I was like, oh, why is there bumper to bumper traffic? And they just stopped in the middle of the street. They all got out of the. They all got out of their two Hummers and walked in through security into the into the yums, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. You know,
And another thing about well, mainly I'm about UFC. I'm wondering how they are feeling with this whole TKO thing when they are hearing about how much wrestlers are getting paid versus what they're getting paid and what they're doing versus what they're doing.
what I mean, and they should. I would be upset. You know, you got, but I don't know if you heard. I saw Kevin Nash's show, and he said it's. He said the pay is like you either make 250, $250,000 a year. Like that's low end main roster talent.
Hmm.
And then you got the top guys who's making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You know, the Roman Reigns, the Seth Rollins, the Brock Lesnar's, the Cody Rhodes,
And the merch is still
Randy Orton.
separate, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then you get your merch on top of that. So of course you know you get your merch bump, and then you get your toy bump, and then you get your video game bump. Like those are all things. The UFC guys, I know at one point the UFC guys were, even when they got their video game, the video game was they didn't get extra. They were just there.
Oh, well, Dana White seems like a snake like that. I could.
You know, it was like, it was in your contract when you wanted to fight, you know. So I feel like only certain guys like Conor McGregor, like they got paid, you know, the guys that made sure that they got paid. Um, but with the WWE, I would be upset. You know, you got a guy like Akira Tozawa making $250,000 a year
We
because
have to
that's
throw him
low
under the
end.
bus like that.
Yeah, you know, I want that. I want that job. I take a bump. I take a one bump. That's one. I lay there for 5 minutes. The match is over, and then you know that's it because he doesn't wrestle. When's the last time we saw Tozawa wrestle? He
It's
accompanied
been a minute.
he accompanied Natalia and Maxine Dupree to the ring
Yeah,
when they both had their Intercontinental title matches against Becky, and that was it.
he he's still back there doing some behind the scenes sketches and stuff. He's working.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I would just want.
And
I didn't mention
and, and,
this.
and random commercials for
Oh yeah,
whatever random.
5G and all this other shit from cricket. I mean, I don't know. By the way, you have on a China shirt. I have on a Triple H shirt. So there you
Oh,
go.
okay. Yeah.
So
I got the
but
I got the China shirt when WWE Shop who had randomly did a I think it was like right before the pandemic. They did a Legend Shop and it didn't last long, but man, it was a dope. It was like a WWE Shop website just for Legend stuff, and they was cranking out a lot. For whatever reason, I guess I think it was just bad timing. I think if they would have put it out now, it would have been cool. And maybe they might, the way they
I mean, you know,
desperate for money, they might bring it back.
they'll do anything now. I mean, like you said, they have shameless collabs with anybody that wants to collab.
Anybody.
You know, the Hollister shirts, they threw me off completely. I was like, what? You know.
Yeah, they didn't even announce that. I wear Hollister, and it just popped up. I just happened to see a pop up from my Hollister app. WWE shirt. What? What is it?
And you know that threw me off. I used to see WWE shirts randomly pop up in Forever 21 when that was still around. You know, and I'm pretty sure they'll be back on Walmart, not just for children, for adults again. You know, I don't see them
Those those is a nice little like, because those Walmart shirts sometimes be like, $10. Like,
10, 15 to 10,
and
15
then
at the
the
most.
most random shirts. Like there's the one I finally got it. It's like it's Shawn Michaels and Austin from
Austin, I have
WrestleMania
that shirt.
14, but it's like the the wrong logo,
The wrong logo on the shirt because it's not the right logo at all because that was
which
more of a
sucks because I
cube
know people hate
logo.
that Mania, but that is one of my favorite Mania logos. The cube.
Hmm. It was
I know.
unique for the time.
Yeah, people shit on it, the Mania itself, but the logo top tier.
I can say for in those years going by, that was one of the first manias that I repurchased because I had my mom purchase because I was just buying WCW pay per views.
I
Yeah,
had
for that.
97 Hollywood Havoc,
Hmm.
and I fell asleep, and my mom said I couldn't get no more WCW pay-per-views.
See, I had so 97 began because I went back because they had like the encore, so that's when I got because I didn't get it live the 96 of Bash in the Beach when Hogan turned, but after that I was like okay, and then but I didn't get enough for the rest of the year because mom was like I'm not sure. I was like I'm not sure how long Hogan's going to be healed, so I don't know why you want to be on this run. I know you're a Hogan fan anyway, but I'm not sure if it's going to be worth it. But by Sold Out, which was the first pay per view of '97, I got
Did
all of them.
they? I didn't order Sold Out, but I've seen it.
Hmm.
Feel like I think maybe TNT had aired a rerun eventually or something. But and I've watched it again like on the network and stuff. And then they had parts of it on the WWE NWO documentary.
Hmm.
But I do remember seeing the show in the 90s and I didn't have the tape. I feel like TNT may have did like a
They probably did.
yeah,
Uh,
because I know I didn't because like I said, I only ordered one WCW pay-per-view and then my mom yelled at me for falling asleep on it. And
you
I
didn't
don't think it
record
was
it?
I did not.
Oh God. I had all the tapes. I had the tapes because I would trade them I was in high school, so I would trade them. I would trade all the WCWs, and I knew somebody that got all the WWFs.
Oh, that's a smart system.
So it would be
I
like,
wasn't.
oh, let me watch yours, you'll watch mine, then we just give our tapes back.
Yeah, no, that's a yeah. I wasn't thinking that deep yet. But I was like
Well,
in
there's,
third grade at the time.
I was gonna say there's an age difference between us brothers,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah.
so
I
it
wasn't.
definitely makes sense.
I think maybe like a year later after that is when I learned how to do tapes.
Yeah,
And yeah,
but yeah, I got all the WCWs, and that was the first one, and I loved like the pre-show for Sold Out wasn't really a pre-show, it was just hauling ass talking shit about everybody. It was they because that was during the time when they ran the Steiners off the road. That was the reason the kayfabe reason of why Scott Steiner had to wear a weight belt because his back was messed up from the car accident.
kind of weird that Eric used to complain about everything they did, and like he said, he always had them. That they always had him stressed out, but he would let them do these things.
But being stressed out, but also wanting to be one of the boys. I think that was the
That
thing.
creates stress because you never should have been trying to be one of the boys.
He's not Vince. See, Vince could get along with you and be cool, but you always knew that was the boss. And I think, and that's another reason I think why Triple H doesn't want anybody that was there with him when he was Triple H. He wants everybody to know Paul Levesque. Don't know Triple H. You don't unless you were like Randy Orton when you're just cool. But and Cody Rhodes. But Cody Rhodes idolized him because that was his favorite wrestler. So therefore, yeah,
And
that's
then
a different
Randy
story.
looked at him like a big brother
Big
anyway.
brother,
So yeah,
So, but I don't, and CM Punk is a corp company man. I know that probably hurts all you CM Punk fans. I'm a
he
CM Punk
showed
fan
up at the Netflix present at the Netflix festival in a suit.
in a suit, and not even a ball cap, a
It was just
jersey,
weird. And it's
his
like
normal stuff.
I think like the crowd would have went crazy if he would have showed up like CM Punk. But he was
That was
Phil
Phil
Brooks
Brooks,
in a suit and he was talking, hitting all the notes for like he's like, yeah, and I'm gonna beat
corporate
up Dirty
America.
Dom on Mondays on what? Dude, stop.
Why
Like
you're not even CM Punk today? Why are you here? Phil, let's talk about Larry. Let's talk about your wife. Let's not even call her AJ Lee. Let's call her April. because
It
she's
was
it's not you're not that guy right now.
like all that stuff would have made people would have liked it, but he came in corporate guy.
The only guy that came in as in character was like Cena. Cena was still see he had on shorts. He didn't even have on his little blue suit, and he
Oh
was a
yeah,
heel. He was heel. He was the babyface Cena then, but he was still Cena. I mean, in fact, even all his wrestling appearances, even when he was heel, he still came in as John Cena. He didn't
yeah, he
come
did.
in as John Felix.
Which
He
was
came.
always the excuse they ran with. He's like, oh, the kids would, it would hurt the sales and the Make a Wish, and it's like he was a heel and he was still talking to kids and doing
Yeah,
interviews. It was
during
like,
interview.
what are y'all
As long as
talking
it went
about?
off, I'm pretty sure that kid down in Brussels that became a meme. Like as soon as the show was over, he's like, "I'm gonna go get that kid, and we're gonna take him backstage." Okay. Hey,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Here's
he did.
here. We're gonna comp all the Cena merch that you purchased. Okay. Here's your money back. And then I'm gonna sign the merch. I'm gonna sign your merch whenever they go back. Before he leaves Europe, that kid is getting something. Okay.
Which was weird because it really was unnecessary because the kid had like a Cena shirt on. He's like, and even you, and it was like, hey, what I do?
I was like, damn. He's over here screaming, "I love you." And
Yeah,
you
like
like you don't love me. This is a toxic relationship. And I was like, Jesus, John.
Cena was lost on what that character needed to be. I mean, it's not his fault. He just got thrown to the wolves.
Speaking of Cena, me and Shaw did have this conversation about Cena today, and he felt that John Cena should have turned heel and became basic thugonomics Cena. I disagree with that.
I think the time for that's passed.
I said Cena's too old to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's
He's 48 years old. If he was 28 talking about his retirement tour, which would actually make no sense, but if he was 28, John Cena, yes.
and that's just cool heel. Like, and we waited so long for him to be a heel. He had to be the heel
Yeah.
for like it. Yeah, I mean, I guess it wouldn't. Well, you know what it would have looked like? It would have looked like CM Punk when he did that.
Yeah.
That's what it would have looked like.
Bad. Because
Yeah.
that, to me, that was Punk's worst promo.
Who told him to go out there and rap?
I was
Like,
like, please stop. Please stop. We can
Cena
see you.
flipped your greatest promo, and you turned around and
Just,
did cosplay being Cena. I mean, I guess it was fun and like a dad humor type thing. Yeah, but
it definitely was dad humor because Cena's promo was one of Cena's best promos, and Cena had some fire promos, and then Punk went on the opposite. Damn, you suck. Like, are you CM Punk? Who are you? Philip, get off of the microphone because that is not CM Punk.
he, like you say, I mean, he's 40-year-old corporate man.
He's 40. He's the new Triple H. I guess he's diddling Stephanie too. She's just there. You go. Triple H like I get to diddle Jordan Grace, and
Oh
you get to
God.
diddle. You get to diddle Phil. And there you go. And she's over here. Feel I learned Spanish. What? What the hell? Stephanie, stop. I guess.
Who who was the girl that Becky had tried to insinuate that he had a thing for? Was that Cora
Oh,
Jade?
it was Cora Jade. Yeah, Cora. It was.
Yeah.
It was Cora. I mean, Miss Elena Black. More power to her. I feel like after TKO's said and done, more women will just be Netflix star. I mean, OF stars. When they kill the indies, we're gonna see every semi hot woman, Hollywood Haley J included, showing their buttocks only on OnlyFans because there will be nothing for them on the indie circuit.
I'm I don't for the ones that's making money, like it's cool. I do worry because it's just in this weird misogynistic internet world. I just feel like some of them may not be able to handle that environment and all the hate that comes with it.
I feel like as long as they stay off of real social media, I mean, like the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the
Because yeah, you know
Twitters,
what I'm talking about. Like
they're
they can
fine.
just like if you got a OnlyFans, you can post like a post is like you would celebrating your mom's birthday, and there's
Yeah,
comments, you slut, you.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like, dude,
You
read the
fucking
room,
are,
man.
and it's like it's a happy birthday. It's not even relevant to what
No,
they
not at
do
all.
on OnlyFans. This is just a random one, but I think that's also the reason that you have people like Lacey Evans who doesn't post anything except nasty stuff, innuendo stuff. Like I was just like,
She is going all in. All
she's going on. Like, what are you posting? Here's me milking this cow. You want me to milk yours? What? Stop it, Lacey. Just say you on the farm doing farmhand work. You don't have to be nasty with it. There she go in
I don't
cowboy boots
know.
and booty shorts.
I don't know because she did a whole thing where it seemed like she was against all that, and then
Hmm.
she
Then
turned
she
around.
became, I
No, no.
want the nasties, and she calls all the fans the nasties, but she wants the nasties.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I get Mandy's, but Mandy's social media isn't just Mandy being naked.
No, no.
It's Mandy's social media is Amanda Sachs actually having a social media account, and that's what that is. Like,
Although
yes,
I am sick of her endless I feel like she is just doing a long complaint about NXT. She talks about NXT more than she
she
even
hate
talks about the main roster. Like it's just like, oh yeah, remember that time they yeah, it was herpes going around. Like it
the
was just
herpes outbreak. Yeah, I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, good God.
it's like you
I
have not
don't.
ran out things to complain about yet. Let
Now
it
you,
go.
I guess she had so much. I was like, but now I'm wondering which one was it? Was it the first run or the second run?
Probably the first, and I was immediately thinking the second, but it makes more sense if it was the first.
I was hoping it was. I was like, the second run was a totally different generation, a totally
Because the
different
first
deal.
is when you had the Velveteen Dreams and the EC3s running around already accusing
Why
each other of doing
why
coke. So
why do we think that Patrick Clark and Ethan Carter the third have the chlamydias? Why do they have the
I
herpes
they come to mind because of the big thing
of the
where
coke the coke party and
the coke party where apparently Patrick Clark was setting up his phone in the bathroom,
mhm, in
recording
the
everybody.
bathroom spying on people, being a little pervy swervy guy? Yeah, we don't know. That's look. I don't get those two people will never wrestle in the mainstream media again. Neither one of them.
I think
NWA.
I think
eh,
EC3 knew it because that's when he went all in and made his own federation that was supposed to be, I guess, some sort of weird.
Control your narrative.
I think it's supposed to be. I don't know who the crowd was. Like the target was incels. Like I don't know what it.
I mean, he got Braun Strowman to do it. That's because
Yeah,
he's
bro,
his
he
friend.
did. But then he also. Do you remember the thing where he was like before the show starts? There was gonna be a thing where they just stood in a room and let people just hurl insults to him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. But I think that shows he does do drugs because that made no sense.
I
He
don't
was
know what the
obviously
point
high.
was. I don't know
He
what
was
the.
obviously he was high out of his mind. All kind of drugs, legal, illegal, pills,
You know how the
everything.
fans want to, you know how they want to yell during the crowd. How about we let them do it before the show? What?
No sense. Why are we yelling? Did you just get people just straight out of the mental ward, just that already had some demons and they needed to get it out? It didn't make sense to me. But that whole control your narrative run didn't make sense to me. Well, I mean, Billy Corgan needs to start selling. He's gonna have to sell his. Speaking of Billy and EC3, they're gonna have to sell. I think they need to sell to Tony if they don't sell to WWE. If you do, they're gonna
I
own the
don't think
tape
Billy wants
library.
to sell. I don't think he wants to sell at all. I think even if it starts just going in the negative, I think he. But you remember, Billy's a big wrestling fan, and I think he just the fact knowing he owns NWA is
Makes him
worth.
happy.
Yeah, that's good enough for him.
I feel like I mean they do have a TV deal, something
The
like that.
man had Tyrus as champ, and people was letting them know every chance they can get that they did not want that, and he was still trying to control
Push
the
it.
narrative on that, and
He liked Tyrus. That was a person that he genuinely liked. Honestly, I had personal social media interactions with Tyrus, and it wasn't about him being a Republican, but it
Oh,
was.
okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
I mean, I guess, and then I've never heard too many people say any bad thing about Tyrus, other than that. Damn, he's fat. And he's not a good wrestler. You know,
Well, I mean, I don't think he's done anything bad to anybody in the wrestling world. Um, I think in his own personal life, he's.
well, his wife, yes, but we're not talking about poor
Well,
woman. But they
he
still
got
together.
he got in that weird lawsuit with somebody on the from his show where he was like sexually harassing him.
Oh yeah, I forgot. With sexual harassment suits, we can't talk about anybody. We also have to talk about Don Callis. I mean, Jesus,
Oh, I don't know. Right?
Callis. Like we talked about earlier, Killer Cross was in TNA. So was Scarlett. Scarlett has brought up that was sexually harassed by Don Callis because Don Callis was in control of TNA for a while.
I didn't know he. No, I didn't know that she. I do remember him being over there, but I didn't remember. I didn't hear anything about Scarlett being harassed by him.
Yeah,
Oh,
so I don't. That's the reason I'm like I don't see AEW in Cross's future
okay. See, I didn't know that.
because I don't think he wants to be around the man that sexually harassed his wife for a contract
No,
extension
Cross seemed like the kind of guy that would take up in the parking lot.
and just choke him out because that's Don
Yeah.
Callis, and then
You see
he'd
what I
have
done to
to
those bats?
he'd have to fight John Moxley. That's my friend. The Death Rider dies. But anyway, I mean, that's a guy. That's somebody that I feel is always going to have a job in the business, even if AEW
So
loses, which I
Mox.
don't think is Mox, and which I don't think AEW will lose its television rights because I think Fox has picked up the third show
Oh, really?
for them. So
Who's gonna
yeah,
pick up Ring of Honor? If nobody does, let's just wrap it up. It was a respectable company. Its time is ended. You are pretty much turning it into a
it's an internet show now.
an internet show. But I'm saying you have turned it into a zombie, and I don't mean it like I mean it like you have tried to like the undead. You've tried to like
He's it's
it,
it's it's just there.
it's there. It's moving, but it's not really alive.
It's not the real Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
It's a shell of itself. I feel like if they wanted to do Ring of Honor, they should have had Ring of Honor TV instead of Collision.
you could just call it a show. Yeah, yeah. Instead of
Yeah, just have it a
collision,
show,
yeah.
Ring of Honor, and use the Ring of Honor and unify those titles, the AEW Championship, because there's no reason for it to have a championship.
Or you could have just named some of those championships after, just like how TNA did with the NWA. You could have had like
Yeah.
the pure champion. You could have. It's better than all the weird geography titles you got.
hmm
You got the international, the and then the names change. So
It's the
I don't forgot
unified
what they
title
mean.
now. It's not even the
That's so
international.
stupid.
It's the unified. I've This is how I feel, and I always am going to feel this way. I feel like NWA and AEW need to come together. Tony and Billy need to work together. I think their egos won't let that happen. Um, and they need to book AEW and NWA the same way they used to book WCW used to book WCW and the NWA. You have your titles, you have your NWA titles and you have your regional titles. The NWA title is the big title. The big goal was the big title when it was the NWA championship.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted that title, but they still had a WCW title. It was still a WCW championship, and then there was a world championship. It was the NWA championship. They need to do something like that again. So there's clear definitions, and that's the only way I think you're going to even compare it to the conglomerate of the WWE.
WWE
TKO,
still
Endeavor.
WWE is still they got problems with their belts too.
I mean, they have by the way, the Speed Championship is going to she's going to defend it.
Wow,
That's what
they
she
just
said.
announced the show is going to be canceled.
She's not going to defend it on the show. She's going to defend it on NXT.
Get rid of this. Stop.
So it's to push Sol Ruka. We know she's the next big thing.
Have something, I guess, offensive or disrespectful about her. I won't say it on the show.
Is it because she's mixed?
It's hey, nothing but love for biracial people. I think one of our co-hosts, Shahid, he's like calling her Nubian queen and things, and it's just like
He did? Oh God, I would never say that. I would just say, oh, she got some black in her.
yeah, and
You got to look though.
and so it's like it's nothing she's done. I think it's just the image that's just been forced upon her from my co-host, and it's just like we going too
But I
far.
mean,
Yeah,
okay. So let's we can knock on that. So there's one of my favorite young woman, young female wrestler that's on the WWE main roster. I didn't know she was mixed until I had to look a little bit harder, and that's Kiana James. Um, she doesn't stand out like Jada Parker got some black in her. You just look at her, you know,
yeah,
you just glance like, oh, that's a
and
black
it
girl,
and it's a gimmick.
and it's a character that she's baby.
Yeah,
You know, she's not a quite Lash because Lash is super ethnic sister, but she has an ethnic character. Her character is ethnic, but I like Kiana James. I think Kiana James is big. She's muscular.
yeah.
She's physical. I don't know how she worked really with her surgery since she got wears her knee brace now. I only saw that one match she did for main event when she wrestled Michin and she lost. But I see her. I don't necessarily count her as a black girl. I just say like, I hope she does good because I like the way she wrestles in the ring.
Okay,
I like her
so
character.
it is my thing because I don't want to get twisted I have anything against biracial people. I just I'm not about to just claim people as black until they do it first.
In other words, they have to put themselves out there as being a black person,
Yeah,
other than if you like Bianca or Naomi, who you obviously they're black. Our Jade, well, she's black. Our Montez Ford, black.
because then it becomes performative, like how people do the whole Cody Rhodes thing, and it's just like wait, just let them acknowledge it first.
When they just
Then we can.
Cody not black. Cody married his baby's black adjacent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
His
yeah.
wife is black. Cody ain't. Cody's barely. What is his mama? Puerto Rican. He's barely Puerto
Oh
Rican.
God, I think she's Cuban, and I've heard her talk,
Yeah.
and she sounds like a white lady from the South. So
Exactly. He's like she's barely there. When they put in Latino heritage and you see Bobby Lashley and Cody Rhodes, I just like that's the I give the John Cena face, the John Cena heel face. I'm like it's like no, 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 stop it, stop. You're reaching. I mean, the only person that
ain't
that
got to worry
that
about that
you
no more because we in anti DEI world now. So
exactly, and the only person that is black and that says they're black is Michin. Mia Yim
yeah,
says I'm mixed. Hold on, no, no, no. My daddy black, my
yeah.
mama Asian. But nobody else really puts it out there, and neither did Sol Ruka. We just knew. I was like, oh, there's the girl that might die while she's doing her flip diamond cutter. That's how I looked. I was like, oh, she.
It is a dope move though. It is a but it's one of those things you don't need to pull out every week.
But she
That's
put
a,
that's her normal finisher. That
yeah,
move has
yeah.
got that move.
That,
Not
that's
that her
a
other moves, but that
yeah.
move got her over.
Yeah, it did. It definitely did. It was first time it went viral, first time she did it. But pull it out like Seth Rollins does a Phoenix Splash. Take
Not
over.
too often.
Yeah, some big, some big main roster pay-per-views. Don't do it every week.
But that means she would have to come up with another finisher, and people are watching.
She's
I feel like
athletic. She
that
can do something else.
she can do a 450.
She
But how many
could.
450s do you see? You see a lot of 450s, especially since they own AAA. Every luchador does a 450. Okay,
Not to sound old, but back in my day, a moonsault shooting star was amazing.
they were finishers. That was the end. You saw Billy Kidman go up, and he hit the 7-year itch, or the shooting star press, whichever one you
It
want to
was
call it.
the move was so rare and like it still was so like prestigious in the sense like amazement that I didn't even realize until I was older that his was bad. I've heard
Yeah, it
people
wasn't that
say
great,
it
but
and I had to go back and look and like, oh, it was bad.
You watch his, and then you because well, first of all, he just kind of did like he went over to the right a little bit. Like he didn't
Yeah,
go
yeah.
straight back. He went over to the right a little bit. He had to grab his right foot so he wouldn't catch the rope. Except that one time when he did catch the rope and almost killed Chavo, you know,
Um,
and himself.
AJ AJ Styles, I forgot what move it is, but there's a move he does, and he said I'm trying to think, what was it?
It's a shooting
Uh,
star press. He used to do a
but
shooting
no,
star press outside the ring.
right, but he did another move, and he said the reason why is because Billy Kidman was getting mad about him doing the shooting star press. So he's
Hmm.
like, I'm gonna do
Spiral
something that
tap.
yeah, he's like, I'm gonna do something that I know you can't do.
He made the spiral tap because Billy couldn't do because he did a better shooting star press than Billy.
And
You know,
Billy
the
was
sad
mad
thing
about
is
that.
Billy still works there.
Yeah,
You know, as a producer, but
yeah, yeah. He, um, he randomly got in an argument on Twitter with Roman Reigns, and that was one of the things where I thought that was one of my first indicators where I was like, I don't think I like this guy. Billy made
really,
a joke. No, not Roman. Billy
Roman.
made a
Oh,
joke about Roman being cheap at a restaurant. And instead of just laughing and joking back, he just like went off and was saying he makes more money than
Roman
him.
got
And
upset.
I was like, dude, what? And I was like, yeah, I don't think I like this guy.
I feel like, and this is the difference, I think, between Roman and the rest of his family. Roman is Italian, and he was raised by his Italian mother, and his daddy was there, I guess. But he was raised by his Italian mom and his Italian family. I think the Samoans they wouldn't have cared. You know, they would have been like, "Damn, you all right?
Or
I'm cheap."
or
You know
or
what? They wouldn't have cared.
that, or
I
they would have
laughed it
been
off.
able to clap back at him without being mad. But
Hmm.
it's not even
I
the
mean,
first
but I
time
think that
he jumped to that. I think I seen Kevin Owens say something. I think it was a clip of Kevin Owens, which I guess Roman. I guess he gets serious about the money. This subject. It was like a clip of Kevin yelling back at a fan, while he had Roman in a headlock, and he was yelling about something about how I don't know. He made some joke about how much money he made or something. Like somebody called him poor, and he's like, then he shouted something out, and then Roman for some reason hopped in the tweet and started saying, "I make more than that when my merch sells or something." It's like, dude, shut up. Just get it.
Roman's a bragger. I would say that Roman's a bragger, but obviously Roman's a bragger. Look at the Jays majority, not all of them, but the Jays
I
when he
know.
was the tribal chief, he
The
wasn't
Travel Cheap
shooting
Jays
poor
were
cheap
nice.
Jays.
The J's he's wearing now, I feel like he's on purpose. Like
The
these are
OTC
ones.
Jays.
These are ones for Bronson.
Yeah, Bronson Reed can have these. I don't know. I wonder if Bronson Reed is going to take those if he takes his wrestling boots, the white ones, the white and black ones.
Oh man.
That'd be nice.
Those are the ones that like you made them. All right, Jordan, you gotta put these in the store. Like you gotta,
Drop them now.
because that I would definitely
I'm
wear
waiting.
that on stage. I would.
Okay, but let's be honest. So this year, the Roman Reigns gear was supposed to drop. I haven't seen it, one
Yeah,
piece.
they've announced they signed him. I think Jordan did a like a post, like a collab post with
They did the
Roman. I like,
collab. They
but
showed the red and black, and it had
yeah, yeah.
instead of the Jordan logo, it had the Roman Reigns punching logo
I thought
instead,
at least by now
and
you get a
then it had the.
T-shirt, but we ain't got nothing yet. I don't know.
Well, we were supposed to get a sweatsuit
Oh,
and
really?
a sweatsuit, a shirt, sweatsuit, shirt, and two pairs of J's
Haven't got it.
with two different colorways. One was supposed to be white and red, and one was supposed to be black and red. I just want this black and white stuff that he's wearing right now. The sweats and the sweats and the kicks. I
Yeah,
can get a random Roman Reigns shirt.
well, yeah, they got the same logo that they're gonna change the letters on. And then
OTC one.
an OTC one does not roll off the tongue good, man. Just OTC's fine. It's fine.
I don't want that. I just want the tribal chief. We don't have to say. It doesn't, not everything has to be letters.
You're right. You're right about that.
Not everything has to be letters.
But I don't know if I've just forgotten or what, but I do look at the old like Stone Cold shirts. Was they pushing Bionic Redneck hard? Or was it just on the shirt?
No, they were. That was on the shirt. I mean, it was pushed hard because that's what Jim Ross would say. The bionic redneck.
Okay, so he did refer. Okay,
But
I don't remember it, but
yeah,
I do remember that. I've seen
Yeah.
like some of the old shirts, and I was like, oh yeah, I do remember that. But then I started thinking, like, was that something that the announcers was pushing?
He
Because
became
like now,
bionic redneck when he started wearing the two braces. When he came back from from getting hit by,
okay,
by Rikishi, and then he was like, "Oh yeah," he got put back together. He's the bionic redneck,
okay, that makes
you
sense. That
know.
makes sense. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like, I just know
And
now it's
because
like it's a.
Steve Austin, the $6 million man's name is Steve
Oh yeah,
Austin,
yeah, 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 yeah. Never watched the
and then
show.
Stone Cold. I watched the show, but I'm old, so. But Stone, Steve Austin, Steve Williams changed his name to Steve Austin so he could be Steve Austin. And then he became the bionic redneck after he had so many surgeries. And Rikishi did it for The Rock. He did it for the people.
Horrible, horrible angle.
Speaking of things, I do want to ask you while we're on here, who do you think is the next Raw World's Women's Champion since Naomi has got skeeted and she has to beat it?
I'm gonna say, and I guess the internet has got my head with the rumor about Raquel, and I'm liking that idea. So I'm on board with that.
I think if they're smart, they need to just
Unless
the woman.
unless we turn that whole Oscar EO thing into a fight for the title.
I would say Oscar, but I think if they want money, money is Stephanie Vicare right now. She was number one. Her
Would
shirt
you
was
push
number
her to
one for
that
like 2 weeks.
first? Would you push her straight to that instead of the IC belt?
I mean, she's already over. She's more over than Becky at this moment, and all she does is point to the air and people with the devil's kiss. And she doesn't. It isn't like she speaks. She barely wrestles, but she's still over.
Yeah, I mean
Just
she's been
because she
over
got
since she got
pyro
there.
and a
Yeah.
exactly and an amazing shape, because she obviously has one of the she has a pretty face and an amazing body. You know, she gets the goth boys going. They're like a little prettier girl than Rhea, a more
Yeah.
feminine woman than Rhea.
Yeah, 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 that's fair. Yeah.
Because Rhea's not ugly, but Rhea's not feminine. Stephanie Vicur obviously looks way more feminine than Rhea.
Do you think in normal like day to day, like on the street looking, Rhea don't she doesn't look as hot as people are fantasizing her. Yeah, yeah.
I think Rhea's aura is the tattoos.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. But like
like in regular street Rhea
Rhea regular street
wearing
Rhea looks like a
t-shirts and
dork.
shorts.
Yeah, she's a
Yeah, so I think her having the tattoos and she's gonna have her glasses on and her hair in the ponytail, but you're gonna stand out because she's a tall girl with muscles that has tattoos.
yeah, yeah.
Well, big shoulders. She doesn't really have muscles. She has like a broad shoulders and tattoos. So she's gonna stand out. But if you just want to talk about the normal girl that dressed normally and looks hot, that's Stephanie Vicur.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. So I think I would push her because I feel like if she's making money like that, if she's beating the Jey Usos, because she was beating Jey Uso, she was beating Cody, she's beating Roman, she's beating all these
Stephanie
people
is?
in T-shirt sales.
But
Stephanie
that
was
horrible it's
last
not
week.
horrible, but the shirt the wrestling's my first language thing.
And that since my first language became the number one seller for like a week.
I don't like the shirt. The picture on it's cool, but the I don't need that. I don't need that phrase on my
Just
shirt.
just to be honest, I really only like wrestling shirts with logos. I don't like wrestling shirts with faces. Yes, I'm still gonna buy that Ava shirt, but she's the
I
tribal queen now.
I don't know, like most phrases I don't want on the shirt. The wrestling's my first language. I don't need that. I
I
don't
don't.
need it.
I like logos. Like I loved all the Triple H shirts because they just had a logo. They just had a skull and
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
logo. I
yeah.
was like, I can wear it. I like it. So I was a big Triple H T-shirt fan. Hogan shirts would usually just say Hulkamania, a phrase, Hulk rules, brother,
But
something
see,
like that. So I would get those shirts.
I like some of the Hollywood shirts, and they had him on it.
Well, yeah, it depends. Well, Hollywood Hogan honestly only had two shirts, like that he wore on TV anyway,
Right, right.
and that was the one with the skull that says Hogan, which I have that shirt in the other room, and the Hollywood shirt with him flexing, and then there's like the
That one.
skull inside the arm
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
NWO,
yeah. That
and I
one.
have that shirt as well,
Although I
and
can't
I
wear
had
that
that
now.
shirt as a child. I will still wear my shirt,
Also
brother.
want that I want that Dennis Rodman NWO shirt.
Oh, with the Robin head, but he had the NWO shirt on and the NWO bandana on. Yeah, yeah. That was they have that on Hogan Shop.
They do.
You know, yeah, they did for a little while. I don't know if they. I know Hogan
I'm
Shop's been
I'm a
selling out really quickly. I got to pick up some shit.
that's at the dead bump that you get.
I know. I know. I know.
It's
I know.
people have no shame, and it's
That,
like
I
people
mean,
really
we
have
know.
they have no shame. Like it's oh man, he died. Let me go buy that movie of his that I could have bought when he was still alive, but I guess I wasn't thinking about
Uh,
it.
I guess I didn't. No, I honestly I did think about because I wanted to buy the Thunder in Paradise box set before he died, but I didn't. So I think I'm obligated to buy it now.
Like Kobe
But
died.
I enjoyed
And,
Thunder in Paradise.
oh, did you? I never watched it. I've only heard people
I was
talk about it, so I can't give a real opinion.
yeah, I loved it, and you need to Google at least the opening because the song is fire because it has like a Jamaican theme, and knowing what we know about Hulk Hogan, it makes it even better. It just makes it amazing.
I'll check it out. I was gonna say, but yeah, the dead bump always works. Kobe died, and his shoes started selling out like crazy. And I'm just going ahead and say it. His shoes was never a sellout. Now they are a constant sellout, even to this day. Like there'll never be Kobe's that just stay on the rack. Like it's just the dead bump. It always works, but
Because he's the Black Mamba, you know,
the thing
and he's
about the
dead.
dead bump works. You can't be there to reap the benefits of it.
Of course not, dude. But your estate
But
does, okay? Your
it's
estate is
yeah.
happy.
It's like a. Did you ever play? You played Pokemon, didn't you?
But my
Oh,
children,
there's
I
certain
hate Pokemon.
Pokemon like Electroid and stuff. They got this move self destruct, and so
Hmm.
like it kills them, but then like it attacks your guy, and it's
Oh
like
yeah.
yeah, you can win, but like if this is your last Pokemon in the battle, he self destructs, and then you don't take this guy out. You
Nobody
lost.
wins.
Yeah, nobody wins.
Yeah,
So
because
so it was
you still have a guy left. Yeah.
so
But
the
I
dead
look at
bump.
it like
You
the
know,
but the death bump is everybody.
it
When
usually
Vince dies,
it
think about it.
yeah he's gonna get it. Yeah, that's another thing. It clears usually it clears any bad image you had. Everybody lets it go to the side and they still celebrate you. Look at Michael Jackson.
Not Hogan.
I think he was too close in proximity into his actions. Like he just got booed in Netflix. It was just like, wait a minute, we ain't forgot yet. We still mad at you. And that was his problem. That was
I mean, I look at Hogan. He had to go outside because the beer was bombing.
we was talking about that too. We were talking about the beer. We was talking about how the beer was a bad
The
idea.
beer, the beer was bombing because Nash even said he had to go outside. The beer was bombing.
Oh, did he say
He had
that?
to do the tour because the beer wasn't selling. The beer wasn't selling. I mean, I know that. Real every week on DoorDash, Real American Beer on sale. Real American Beer on sale.
I think
Nobody
all
bought
right,
it. Now you
so
can't find it.
him being a MAGA guy, I think was cool for MAGA people, but I don't think it converted people over there. I don't think it made people fans of him. I just think it made people that was over there was like, oh yeah, we got a celebrity with us. Yeah, we love Hogan. Like, yeah, that's cool, but it wasn't like one of those things where like the crowd, the fans like intercept. Now maybe in Florida, yeah, but like overall, like people
I
like
think in Florida, Hogan was over because he was Hogan.
yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like the connect. Like, I don't think it was and it was beer. Like if he was a Hogan fan, like if Stone Cold came
I
out
feel
was pushing some beer, which he does have some beer, but like if he was
he
pushing
does
it
have a
hard
beer.
like Hogan, like if he was pushing it like that, then I could see it's like if a Stone Cold beer commercial came on Raw, he was like, "Yeah, I'm about to get this Stone Cold beer." Hogan beer doesn't even
Steve
make
Weiser. I'm
sense.
gonna get my Steve Weiser.
Yeah,
Hogan
like
drinking beer when Hogan was only known for drinking beer if you worked there. You know, and
right.
but he wasn't known for drinking beer. The character Hulk Hogan didn't drink beer. Terry Bollea drunk a beer before and after a match. Okay, that wasn't Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan We only saw Hulk Hogan drink a beer once with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Then he got stunned,
Yeah, he was with Austin. He
and
was
then
with,
and then we saw Terry Bollea drink some champagne. Well, Hulk Hogan would drink some champagne when he won the world title from the Iron Sheik for the first time.
oh,
That
see,
was
that's
it.
a
We didn't
monumental
see.
win, though. That's,
Yeah, I mean, but the character wasn't drinking. That
right,
wasn't
right,
the
right, right.
character's gimmick.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so Hulk Hogan Real American Beer didn't really make sense, But it was kind of like Hulk Hogan's weed.
Hulk
Character
Hogan's
wasn't smoking weed.
his freestyle wrestling thing is then
Hey, that haven't happened yet. I'm gonna watch it. It's 27th,
they on Call Gable and no.
but no. Well, ain't Gable's arm ain't it? Gable Stevens? Hell no, Gable Stevenson trash WWE. He doesn't. He's not. I don't. He's not a trash wrestler. Obviously, he's an Olympic gold medalist, but I don't think he's gonna bring in. He's not gonna bring in the name. I think the record on Fox is gonna be off the charts because of Hulk Hogan. The TMZ special outdrew NXT, and
Oh,
it went against
okay.
NXT directly. Outdrew NXT. It got a I think a 1.2 million. NXT did 700 some thousand like it normally does.
Good. So nobody was skipping the channel to watch it, but
But NXT,
I think people
I
flip
feel.
Vince's words around. Vince was saying he didn't like how they handled Hogan's
Mhm.
death, and people was like Vince saying he doesn't like how Triple H runs Raw, and it was like that's not what he said.
He didn't like the way they handled Hogan's appearance on
Right.
Raw, but I don't think he didn't like Triple H's booking. I think he just didn't like his booking of Hogan. That's one thing
Which,
that you didn't
which,
like.
and I don't know. I feel like he's saying it under like revisionist history because I don't remember Vince booking recent Hogan any differently. He threw him out for
No,
segments too.
yeah. Look at that Titus O'Neil WrestleMania thing when he was hosting when they were in Florida.
They booed him there, and then even before all that, he put him in that segment with Brock Lesnar, where Brock Lesnar came and said, "Party's over, Grandpa." Like, and then
Hmm And he
And
was getting
Hogan didn't
cheered
do anything.
at that time.
Yeah, he was getting cheered, and then and Hogan's character didn't do anything but just sat there quiet. I mean, he didn't like look scared or nothing, but
Mm.
he just looked annoyed and insulted. That was so Vince saying he would
Which
have
I
did
think that was
differently.
legit. I think that was a shoot.
I think it was. He did look. His face
Cause
looked
I think
like.
I think that was a shoot.
I think his face looked like
Hey, he coming out
who.
here. What's going on? Who booked this shit? This doesn't
So
work for me, brother.
so Vince saying that. I think he's saying that like, oh, my buddy Terry died, and I would have did things a million times different. They're like, no, you wouldn't have.
I don't think he would have brought him out.
Mm, I
I
wouldn't
think Vince
have.
would have read the room a little. I think they knew Vince. I think Triple H doesn't care. First of all, Triple H, Nick Khan, they don't care if he gets booed. I think he knew in his heart that he was going to get booed. I think he knew that it was going to be because you're the racist thing, and then on top
I
of
think I
that,
would have let
you're in a
him test the
liberal
waters in
place.
the crowd, but then after it didn't work, I wouldn't have been just cut ties, and I would have kept the commercials going. I would have had him filming segments, and then we just would have kept going. And then, I might ask him like, "Hey, people's booing you. You want to play into this?" But I wouldn't have, I would have still
But
tried to
then,
work with him.
but
I would have
people,
worked.
but I mean, I would have worked with him. But as he stated before himself, the beer was the whole reason for him going outside because he was hurting. He didn't want to go outside,
I don't think he's
but
been
he needed
hurting
to make
since
that money
TNA
to
though
make that
too.
beer work.
So I think if you round Hogan, you used to him
But
being in pain.
but he didn't go outside. He didn't leave Florida. There was a point where you didn't see Hogan outside of Florida. He wasn't in L.A. Yeah, he wasn't in L.A. He wasn't
And that might
traveling.
be
He wasn't
also why
going to
he couldn't
state to
read the
state.
room and know how people felt about him for real.
Probably didn't
That
know.
played,
I
yeah,
mean,
that played a big
probably
role in it.
the last time he was outside was probably the RNC, and they were just
And
happy
they
he
and
was
they loved
cheering
him,
for
so he's
Trump.
like, oh, yeah,
They didn't care about
so
anything
he's
else.
thinking, oh, that we got over all the bad stuff. But
I'm over, brother. I'm
you're in a
over.
room where people already agree with you.
You're already on the same side, so of course and they churn, and he didn't come. Even though in the statement he said, "I'm not coming out here as Hulk Hogan tonight,"
I mean, you definitely
but he
are.
came out there as Hulk Hogan that night. He tore his shirt off. Like when The Rock went for the Democratic National Convention, that was Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah,
The Rock's music didn't play. Real American played and introduced Terry Bollea on the stage.
but Rock has become so professional with that, like where he actually did become a Dwayne Johnson, and Hogan
Yeah,
never.
The Rock.
Man, Hogan, the Rock died for a minute. Rock, Rock was gone for a minute. Yeah, I mean,
There was well, Rock's gone again. Just to be honest, I don't think we see The Rock too often. I mean, granted, he owns the name, but if he's on Pat McAfee treats him as The Rock, even though he's like, "Oh, it's just me, Dwayne here, Pat." Um,
he definitely was Dwayne on that
but
Netflix for
even I
me.
feel like that was Dwayne. That was Dwayne. Cody, our mamas love each other. Oh no. That actually that turned me off a little bit
But those
because I
casual
was so
Netflix
happy for the
fans was
final
like,
boss
"Oh,
character.
this Cody Rhodes dude, The Rock likes him too. Okay, all right, that's what's up." And then like everybody else was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, all of us who followed along for the story for the 2 years, like, why are you talking to this man like this? Why are you not trying to turn your foot sideways and stick it straight up his candy ass? What's going on? Why are you
The
not whipping
character has
him and
been
saying,
weird the
I'm
whole
gonna
time because even after when he lost and get the next night, the whole "you broke my heart" thing, and we've never understood with any of that men or what he told him or what he gave to him, and at this point, I don't even care. But
do you even feel that's gonna be paid off?
no, no, because the true payoff would have been in
I don't
Mania.
either. This Mania this year.
No, 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 no.
He should have
The
came
one,
out and rock bottom
yeah,
then.
yeah. The one this year, when he was in and he injected himself in the storyline. That's when it should have been paid off, but it didn't.
I don't know. The Rock's strange. He might come out at any time. He might just come back. Oh, after the Smashing Machine, which I am gonna go see. That looks interesting.
He also's got that. He's got another movie he's doing too that I'm really excited about. Leonardo DiCaprio's in it. What's his name is directing
Oh yeah,
it.
the one about the Samoan gangster.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. I've seen that. I saw a little bit of that, and because him and the guy were hugging each other. The person he's portraying in the movie.
Oh, okay. I think is it Christopher Nolan that's directing
Yeah,
it?
they hugged each other. Yeah, yeah. It's a Nolan movie. I'm excited to see since he's not number one on the actors list, which I agree it should have been Batista. Batista is the best actor turned wrestler, well, wrestler turned actor. It's not The Rock completely. Oh, you're back. There's three of you.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's two of you now.
It lost connected with me. I think my phone's about to die. I didn't even notice. Yeah.
When Cody Rhodes buries you, because I guess he's the new face of the Killers of the
What are you
Indies.
gonna do when TKO puts you in debt?
I mean, I don't. I mean, that's all the wrestlers. The wrestlers just gonna make OnlyFans with Mandy Rose. She
I
got
do
the.
hope with all these crazy prices and these for the tickets and ESPN stuff, I do hope wrestlers is getting bigger paychecks. That's one small positive thing I can you know.
I mean, wrestlers are getting bigger. Wrestlers probably will get bigger paychecks, but how many wrestlers are going to get fired because Roman Reigns is going to be
Uh
making 12 million? For his six dates a
that's
year.
what I mean. Without cutting people,
That's
that
not going to
just
happen.
everybody. Then I want death to the system. I want
We're gonna. Tony Khan can't hire everybody.
no, he can't.
And
And there's nowhere else to go because everything else is owned by WWE.
because they, like I said, they infiltrated the Indies and their
You
own.
can't even go to Mexico now. You
Nope.
can't even
Well,
go.
you can go to CMLL, which I did look. AAA is only 30 some years old. CMLL is like 92 years old.
Is it really? For some reason I thought AAA was the one that was older.
No, CMLL is the older one, but AAA also has. That's the reason a lot of you don't see a lot of them showing the older stuff of like Rey Mysterio when he was young, because there's no Rey Mysterio when he was young there, right?
Right, right.
But that isn't on CMLL TV. So you know, Stephanie Victoria was a CMLL girl. You know, um, but I mean
Yeah,
AAA does have some people like
that's the belt she had when she was with
when
Mercedes, right?
then she was wrestling Mercedes.
And said, "Fuck this belt. I am."
Mm-hmm.
Shawn Michaels called me.
Shawn Michaels called me. I always wanted to be in WWE, which she stated that's true. Give up the Japanese belt. I'll give up the Mexican belt. I don't need the belt because I
That's how
need.
girls used to act when they were home with their boyfriend and Shawn Michaels called.
That's probably ask Chris Candido if he would rest in peace, because Shani,
He was the number one person on my mind.
mine too, because we damn well know that Tammy Lynn Cinch definitely said, I I know I want him. He don't have to want me because he's my sexy boy. So I
Jesus.
mean, hey, Sexy Red probably gave Shawn Michaels a clap. So
Oh God. Oh.
poor Shadow, she's over here dying because Shawn Michaels gave her a clap. Well, it was Sexy Red, honey. That was my last chance to get somebody that young. She said I reminded her of her youth. You ain't looked like that in 20 years, Sean. Stop it. Soon
You
as
can
you
at
got
least.
old, all of you got old. Everything.
Oh, I don't know. You can at least fix that.
I don't even think he wants to now.
I don't think he does. I don't think he.
The eye's part of the lure of Jericho. Jericho took the eye. He took the
I think he
sexy for
likes
sure.
looking like a science teacher.
An old crazy guy that just like that might tell you about how quantum physics works. Just randomly. Only thing he's telling you, you know how I do a super kick? Like this. He can't even do it. Did you hear? Speaking of Shawn Michaels, before we get off, I know that's your guy. Did you hear about that he had the rods taken out of his neck and they're all twisted and stuff
Yeah, I
out of
seen
his back?
Kevin Nash talk about it. He said that Sean did say um
Better,
he felt better with the rods taken out.
but he got to get new
But
rods put
he
in.
oh, does he? I know he needs to get some knee
The
replacements.
knee, two knees
Yeah.
replaced. Sean, seeing Sean walk, he's walking like a cowboy now. His knees don't bend.
Mm.
He's walking like Hangman should.
I said Sean recently told him that he feel like he got another match in him though. I don't remember who it was.
He said that, and that's nuts.
I think maybe AJ said
Yeah, I think AJ.
somebody.
But I
Yeah.
mean, is it gonna be with AJ? Because that's AJ's last match. It should be.
I don't think so because Sean always, when the topic of a match with AJ comes,
He says no.
he says no. But I don't know.
I mean, I know why he says no though. I mean, what's your expectations of Shawn Michaels versus AJ Styles?
They're not high,
Your dream
but
ones, not
just
your realistic ones.
my dream ones. Oh man.
Your TK 25 ones where they can do all the moves they could do.
Oh man, dude, it's he. First of all, he's coming out. He's got a wig on.
Yeah, his hair is
He's got
long
the
again.
he's got the '90s pants on.
You said 90s, not even the 2000s little chaps. You want him to wear the chaps where he breaks them off and have the tights
Yeah,
on with the
yeah.
hearts. All right. You want to see him dance to the rain, kiss some
The,
children,
oh yes, all of it, all of it. It is.
the fireworks in the rain, not on the stage.
Dude, I don't know why he gave that up.
Oh, on the stage because they didn't feel like taking them out. Remember, somebody would have to be on the rain crew and take the motherfucking pyro things out of the rain.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But
So
it
it
was
was
so
just.
cool.
I mean, I
It
liked
was
it better.
yeah,
The look was better. Whether he was doing it or whether like Nash was behind him throwing up the fist, it always
yeah,
looked
yeah.
cooler.
Either way, yeah.
It always looked cooler to me. Even when he had the few times when no
But
Sherry
with that
wasn't.
said, if they did that, were they also going to take out Razors if he would have stayed with WWE? Was they going to take out his? Because he had some fireworks in the ring too.
Yeah,
The
well,
little like
yeah,
sprinkler
I don't
things.
think yeah, Hall had his. Nash had his. Remember, they would have the fireworks would come from the post
Oh
when he
yeah,
would
yeah,
do that.
yeah, yeah.
Everybody had them except Brett. Brett didn't need them. He just had hearts that appeared in the middle of the
He did have hearts in that.
ring. Nobody else needed, but everybody during the new generation, they all had pyro. Every top guy, whether it was Razor Ramon, whether it was Shawn Michaels, Diesel,
That's why everybody now measures the star status with the amount of pyro they
pyro
get.
they get. And see, hey, like I said, my guy was Hogan. He didn't have no pyro. He just ripped his shirt off. My other guy was Triple H. He didn't have no pyro. He spat on himself. And
He
the people in
did,
the front row.
and everybody wanted to know how to do that. I never learned how.
I learned
Never.
how. I learned as soon as the WWE the music volume, I forgot what it was. I think it was like volume 4. Every day after school, I spat in her.
Oh man.
I was, and my grandma would be like, "As long as you clean it up," you know.
Oh, so that's a nice deal.
She
Deal's a
wasn't
deal.
walking upstairs. She wasn't going to walk up them steps. Anyway, so I just did it in the bathtub. You know what I'm saying? Didn't matter. But man, I mean, I truly believe that TKO is the death of the indies, the death of the casual fan, and the death of the hardcore fan who doesn't want to pay, um, the hundreds of dollars that we that we both had to
And
spend to
and
go to
and that's why I said
Royal
earlier about
Rumble.
how I think this could cause like a downfall because your casual fan is not keeping up with all these channels and they're not going through these premium channels. And your hardcore fan is already patience is getting thinner and thinner every time you add something else on.
We
Um,
right now we have 3 channels that we have to watch WWE by itself. 4 channels. We have USA, 1, Netflix, 2, the CW, and now Peacock is separate from all that.
yep.
And then we're getting ready to go to 5 with ESPN because Peacock is still going to get the Saturday night's main event because
And that was
NBC.
weird. NBC is not going to do it. It's going to be exclusive. So
Mhm.
it's like,
Well, NBC said they didn't bring in enough ratings. It wasn't enough
Mm.
ratings for them to have on television to have a special. So just leave it
They
on
didn't
Peacock.
treat it like the 80s.
Oh, no,
Man, I mean, they treated it better than they did when they brought it back in 2006. I will say that,
that's true. Yes,
but they didn't treat it. They still didn't treat it. I see why Goldberg's mad. They didn't.
it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, like it.
Saturday night's main event in the '80s was a big deal, and it was on television. It was on radio shows. But who gets their media from television?
Yeah,
I mean, I might turn on the news as I'm drinking my morning broth in the morning.
I just read it. I don't watch it.
I just
It's too depressing anyway.
I like I that is true. But I prefer I like some of the local personalities. It's like in the news, like they make me laugh, and when I see them in real life, they make me laugh as well because I'm laughing from them from television. But but no, I feel like no one watches the media, and if you were going to watch Saturday night's main event, you were going to watch Saturday night's main event. Granted, I think there was a few people that didn't know that Goldberg was having his last match that I personally told, and they tuned into it. Like, oh, Goldberg's having his last match. Did you know? Oh man, Goldberg. I remember Goldberg. He's gonna spear someone, probably. I don't, I didn't think he was gonna jackhammer Gunther, even though he did, and it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
But this time he knew it's my last one. I gotta get this right.
shit, he almost killed the Undertaker. And that was years ago.
Yeah, yeah, that was ugly.
The one he did to Bray Wyatt wasn't too much better.
No, it wasn't. Honestly, after the Undertaker one, I would have just took the move out. Everybody loved the spear anyway. We good. We
The
don't have to.
spear is what he was known for more so than the
Yeah.
jackhammer, and which I
So I
like the
would have.
jackhammer more because that was a more impactful move to me anyway. But it depended on who took the spear if it looked impactful.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like Scott Steiner, he always took a good spear.
A
Christian,
jackhammer in his prime, he can hold you up there.
he would.
He barely can get you up, let
Just
alone hold you up.
I would say this: WCW to me had way greater feats of strength than WWF at that time. You
That's true.
saw you
That's
saw
true.
the Big Show took the Giant. He took the jackhammer, and Goldberg held him with one arm.
Yeah.
Kevin Nash successfully jackknife powerbombed that man. And he was still a big man, even though the second time he dropped him on his head. But the
Yeah.
first time he got him up and he power bombed him perfectly. That was like a perfect jackknife power bomb. there was always big, huge feats of strength. Even though the WWE guys, there was more of a hardcore style by that time. Brawling. Nobody really
Yeah.
wrestled. The only wrestling match you might see would be like shit. I can't. Brian Christopher versus Taka Michinoku. That would be it. But all the rest of them, it would just be punches and kicks. You never see any wrestling. Never. You'd only see
Yeah,
wrestling.
Tonka was out wrestling everybody for a good year or two.
Taka was the guy on that TV. I always wanted to see Taka versus Rey Mysterio,
That would have been nice.
especially in their primes when they were both younger. When Taka was the light heavyweight champion and Ray was the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
cruiserweight champion, that would have been an amazing match. But before we get out of here, final thoughts on TKO and the WWE and professional wrestling.
Like I said, it is hurting the business and as far as for fans. I mean, they're making money and they're going to continue making money, but I do think it's going to get to the point where even they're going to have to wash themselves, their hands clean and sell it. Um, and I think the idea of WWE doing this crazy takeover of anything wrestling related isn't good. Even though hardcore WWE fans is cheering it on, I don't think nobody really wins in that one. And knowing that the idea that if you're a wrestler and you get fired from WWE and there's really nowhere else to go again, that ain't cool either. And that's also the fact that if you're a WWE guy and getting paid would be weird because they don't have to, worry about, being competitive with another company because all the other companies is there. So that also don't look good either.
That's true. TNA, AAA, WWE, Evolve, even, which was its own separate company before they purchased that as well. I agree with you, and let's hope that WWE concedes and allows all these other companies to prosper. Um, they've already got their hands on TNA. Hopefully, they'll allow AEW to continue. Really feel like them getting this AEW thing is more against Fox than anything else. Because, like I said, Fox is picking up the third AEW show, and I forgot what the name of it is, but I think that's a slap in the face to them. They're like, we're number one in wrestling. We're number one in sports entertainment. So I would like to say, screw you, Fox. But by them saying screw you, Fox, and being mad that Fox feels that the fans and the WWE, which I feel is true, are not going to spend a ton of money on buying a new truck.
Yeah,
If they're going to spend a ton of money probably trying to go to wrestling, and when they take their family of four, they're financed these tickets because every ticket is like $135 for them to bring their wife and their two kids. I feel like by them wanting to say that and screw you, Fox, screw you, Tony Khan, and your more well-to-do and well-educated fans, we're going to be losing money, and we're going to hijack the prices, hijack every wrestling company that we can, run everybody, make there's nothing but indies, kill the indies with WWE ID, and pretty much price out the average fan. So more power to everyone else. If you have the cable provider, which I don't have a cable provider, I'm a streaming person, um, which I think you are as well.
yeah, yeah,
And the average person, they don't have a cable provider, so they have to pay the $30 a month, up from our 12 to 10 to 10 5 to $12, depending on how long you've had your Peacock account. And for those people that have the few networks or a VPN or whatever you're doing, man, more power to you. Everybody get a VPN. Mine is already booted and suited and ready to go. um, and let's just pray that the WWE gives up on this, TKO gives up on this, and we let the indies live.
yeah, yeah. That's a nice way to end it.
But
So let the Indies live.
let the indies live. But I'm Alex. This is Peter. This is Rope Break. Hey, if you're tired and you're in a submission, don't tap out. Make it to the ropes and get a rope break. Later, guys.